Good evening. Welcome to the Francis Baba Lastic Ground, Gros Islet, St. Lucia. We're getting set for match number 22 in SPL 6. We greet you with the goodish news that we are well set, but a little bit of drizzle at the start of the proceedings will hold us up momentarily. But the good news about the weather is that it's not heavy, very light drizzle. It is still with us. We are a few minutes away from the scheduled start, so it appears that we are going to have a delay, but we are hoping that it is not going to be too serious. As you look, you can see the covers are on. They had been taken off already, but that drizzle just persisting and just keeping the players off, keeping us away from the starting ceremony as well. So as we wait for that, we will give you the toss that was taken a few minutes earlier as we get ready for match number 22. And welcome to match number 22 in the SPL 6. We are at the Francis Baba Lastic Ground in Gros Islet, and we've got our officials with us. We've got the umpire, Rosalind Emmanuel, our match referee, Mr. Bernie Joseph, captain of the Sail Gros Islet Knights, Kimani Melius, and captain of the Babonneau Leatherbacks, Mr. Chauvin Joseph, Mr. Melius as well. Who's got the coin? Kimani has the coin, and he normally throws it very high. It's all over the place. And heads is the call. Heads it is. Chauvin, you've won the toss. What are you going to do?
We're going to be batting.
Going to be batting. Why would you do that?
We've chased in the past couple of games and we just felt we want to give it a go today. So we're going to bat.
Okay, your final game. In the last few ones, it hasn't gone in your favor. What are you expecting this evening?
We are really expecting a change of fortunes and hoping to come out today with a victory.
Okay, any changes to your 11 today?
Alex comes back into the squad.
Okay, thank you, Chauvin. All the best. Go good. Kimani, you're back home. 50% record. What would you have done had you won the toss?
Well, the good thing, we didn't win the toss, so it's a good toss to lose. The same team into the game we played against Chozel. So we just try to get as many early wickets as possible. Okay,
you are heading towards the top of the table where you want to be. You need to continue to keep on winning.
Well, that's the end result. We follow the processes. We just want to do all the processes right and execute our plans, and the end result will always take care of itself.
Okay, you said no change, but might we see a change in the strategy? We had 18 overs of spin in Chozel.
Well, it's based on the information the wicket gives, so I don't see it look like it will cater much for spin. So we'll have to assess and act accordingly.
Okay, all the best, Kimani. Go good. The news from the toss is that Chauvin Joseph has won and he has decided to bat first. Let's look at the surface for you. This is sort of a refresh surface since that we have not had action on it over the past weekend. Of course, the action had gone down to Chozel. So we are back in Gros Islet. This is the same surface, the same pitch, so it would have been prepared by the ground staff. It looks dry, looks even. A bit of cracks just developing, but it's a typical Francis Baba Lastic ground surface, and so we expect to see a lot of runs as usual. In the previous set of matches here, we had some big totals in excess of 200, and we expect this to continue, and we expect to see a lot of runs here at the Francis Baba Lastic ground. First blowing across the ground, and so we are going to have a delayed start. We'll be hoping, of course, that there's no reduction in the number of overs, and we will bring the action for you when it starts. Good evening to you. Claudius Emmanuel here. I am with Greg Wilson, as we will get the descriptions and the analysis for you. But Greg, with rain at the Francis Baba Lastic ground, it looks like we are going to have a delayed start as the ground staff are actually nailing the covers down on the square.
Yeah, good evening, Claudius, and good evening. Always following the proceeding. Yes, the rain are with us at this point in time, and it looks, as you did indicate, that there's going to be a delayed start. In fact, driving up to the ground from about Grand Riviere area, you would have seen sign of rain. So it's no surprising when I got here to see the drizzle.
In fact, when I got here, it was dry. There was rain up in the Dame Pullet area, the Union area, but as we got further north, it had actually dried out. But the good news from my app is that I don't think we have much rain in the forecast, so I think it's just a temporary delay. Of course, it will delay the start of things, and a very interesting match number 22 with the two sides, the Gros Islet, the Sale Gros Islet Knights and the Babonneau Leatherbacks, Greg. Important game for both of them, with Gros Islet with a 50% record. They have played 4, lost 2, won 2. So they need to keep on going up, or to win if they want to go up. And of course, Babonneau with the 1 game left. Babonneau on 9 points, I think, with 7 points. 7 points. 2 wins, 1 no result. So they're on 7 points. And the Sale Gros Islet Knights, they are in fact on 6 points. So very important game for both teams.
Yes, certainly. As you did indicate, with Babonneau Leatherbacks, with 1 game remaining, they certainly would want to win this one.
Yes, so let's confirm that for you. Yes, so at the top of the table is the City Blasters. Babonneau Leatherbacks, they are third on 7 points. They have played 6, won 2, lost 3, and 1 no result, so they're on 7. And the Gros Islet Knights, they are currently on 5th place. They have played 4, lost 2, won 2, and they're on 6 points. So important game for both of them.
Yes, certainly. Win this evening for the Sale Gros Islet Knights will put them perhaps in 2nd place, depending on what the overall net run rate would be.
Indeed. Well, so that is the situation at the Francis Baba Lastic ground. We will take a break as we've got rain, and we will come back when we have action for you. We can assure you that there will be play. I don't think that rain is going to last very long. So when it does subside and it allows us to play, we will come back and bring you the start of action, match number 22 in SPL 6. Good news, we are back at the Francis Baba Lastic ground, and the covers have been pulled away, and we're getting set for the opening ceremony. And as we told you, that breeze, correction, the rain that we had earlier, that has blown away, and the players are lining up. Greg Wilson, good news.
Yes, certainly good news, Claudius. I think within the next, say, 10 minutes, foresee play most probably would start. At least by 8 o'clock. The latest one would think.
Yes, and the question would be whether we are going to get any reduction in the overs. We hope that we don't, but we'll have to wait on the officials to confirm that for us. The players are lining up, and we'll go to the opening.
Bonsoir, Sandy. I am your presenter, Ika Fergus, and welcome to the Francis Baba Lastic Mini Stadium for match number 22. It's the Premier Sports Inc. in collaboration with the government of St. Lucia presents to you the National Lotteries Authority SPL T20 cricket. It's SPL 6 where we BGSM, Silver Partners, Lastic, Computer and Business Services, Crick Clubs, Four Circles, National Insurance, Floor, Forest Springs, our media partners, DBS, NBC Real FM, and Vibe Radio. Tonight's game features the Gros Islet Knights versus the Babonneau Leatherbacks. Let's all stand at attention for our national anthem. Babonneau Leatherbacks won the toss and chose to bat first. Gentlemen, let's play.
Backs with Siobhan Joseph. He caught Skimani Melius threw the coin very high in the air. So early success for Siobhan Joseph calling right, and he's chosen to bat. The players sharing pleasantries, smiles there, but the serious action will begin as soon as they have completed those pleasantries. Greg Wilson, your anticipation as what we're going to see here tonight in game 22?
Well, Claudius, the last few games we've had here, we've had some high-scoring games. The last two in the tournament were scores of over 200. Actually, the Blasters, they got 247. And you had the game Swazel against Soufre. Swazel got to 236 it was. So certainly the last two games in Swazel have been high scoring, and we know here the Gros Islet Knights, they have put up some big scores here as well. So I think all is set for a good game. We've had the early drizzle, but it has done nothing to the outfield, because as you know, here we have a sand-based ground here, so certainly the wicket looks good, and one anticipates that we're going to have a cracker of a game.
Cracker of a game indeed. The two umpires, the tall figure of Cuthbert McVeigh and the not so tall figure of Ali Augustine. So the two will be presiding here this evening. The Sale Gros Islet Knights in the huddle, and they have all to do, of course. They are at home under very familiar conditions, and as we suggested to Kimani Melius at the toss, it is going to require that they keep on winning if they had to move from that number 5 position that they are in. But talking about the conditions, Greg, you said that the moisture would not really affect the outfield in terms of water seepage, but I think the moisture on the grass will be an issue.
Well, probably for the bowlers, but I don't think in terms of preventing the ball from getting to the to the boundary, it's going to slow it down anyway. But as you know, the moistures, and especially if the Gros Islet are going to be inclined to using the spinners, that is where it becomes a factor.
And I think we'll see the towel coming out, as the bowlers would want to keep that ball dry. The two openers for the Leatherbacks, Can Elcock and Dane Edward. So left-hand, right-hand combination. And quite a revelation has been the left-hander, Elcock. We saw him move from the Sale Gros Islet Knights last year into the Leatherbacks this year, and he has gotten them going off to decent starts. He has been aggressive, he has been purposeful, and he would be looking to lay a good foundation for them as well.
Yeah, well, Khan basically is at home, because as you did indicate, he has played quite a bit of cricket for Gros Islet, so he would be very familiar with the conditions out there. And having moved from the Sale Gros Islet Knights, I'm expecting that you're going to see a bit of byplay between the players and the batter. Usually, you know, they tend to go hard at each other.
Let's look at the no change from the previous game where they beat the Craftmasters. So Goodman, Kimani Melius, Tariq Edward, Lee John, Simeon Gerson, Dylan plus the overseas player, Tyrell Chico, Jodel Cyril, Isaiah Jones, Davin Ford, and Beyond Fanis. Team from the men up north, the Babonneau Leatherbacks, Greg Wilson.
Yes, Dane Edward, Canel Cock, Alex Joseph, Sachin Sipal, Quinn Henry, Siobhan Joseph, the captain, Caleb Thomas, Joshua Mann, Tyler Sukwa, Unici Gustav, and Naim Roseman. Naim Roseman.
So Nairos completing the 11 there for the Leatherbacks. It's going to be Tyrell Chico to start though. And he will bowl to Edward. Solitary slip in Melius. Tonight we've got Jad Goodman starting with the glove behind the stumps. First ball of game number 22. Delivery on the off stump, pushed up into the offside. Jones is there. And there's no run. So as we told you, a bit of rain just as we were about to start. So we had a delay of, I make it 25 minutes. The question is whether we have any reduction. I'm assuming that we don't, confirmation from Brian Calix. Is Brian the match commissioner, the tournament commissioner? He says no, but he's high up there in the cricket operations segment of the competition. So confirmation, we are playing 20 overs each side. Chico bowls down the leg side, and wide call by umpire Augustine as Goodman takes that down the leg side. And so one without loss, the Leatherbacks.
Yes. Open up the account with a wide down the leg side, and Kimani Melius was appealing, the oldest trick in the book, to appeal for a wide delivery down the leg side, trying to put the umpire off.
The two men out, deep third and deep backward point. Off stump line would be the area that Chico would be targeting. He comes in, bowls on off stump. It's full. Khan wants a single. Elcock, it's not on. And the mid-off, the extra cover fielder, Isaiah Jones, already in action, picking up for the second time in the over. One without loss. Edward not able to get going as yet.
Well, credit to the bowler Tyler Chico. He has looked to attack the stump as much as possible. Just the exception, the one wide we had down the leg side. But the legal deliveries ball so far, they are basically at the stump.
Chico moving in to Edward. Edward drives over the top, 4 runs. Clearing the inner ring on the offside, releasing the pressure that was building and getting himself away to a boundary. He's off the mark. Babonneau Leatherbacks 5 without loss.
Yes, on this occasion, a half volley just outside the off stump. And then Edward decided to go the aerial route on this occasion and got 4 valuable runs for his team.
Chico, who we didn't see at all on Friday against the Craftmasters. The Knights using just 2 overs of seam from Fanis. Down the leg side, played away, and will go into the boundary. I think that has come from the pad or the 5 pad. So another boundary with Chico being 2 straight there. And 4 of them as the total goes to 9 without loss.
Yes, that's last delivery certainly angling down the leg side. As much the batsman looking to get inside the line, but the ball actually came off the 5 pad and went down to the vacant boundary, the long leg boundary for 4. So good start by the Leatherbacks.
2 legal deliveries left in the first. Chico from the northern end bowls to Edward. Edward is struck on the pad. A bit of a stifle appeal. Not out, says the umpire.
I think this one was fast angling down.
So Chico, dominantly foolish length as we look at that last one again. Full delivery and heading down the leg side. By Ali Augustine say no to the appeal. Chico to complete the first over. Moves into Edward. Edward back of a length, can't score. Tucked up, doesn't have the room to freeze arms. End of the over, good one from Chico to complete it, really. End of the first, 9 without loss. With Elcock yet to face, Edward is 4 from 6.
Yeah, clear ploy by Tyrell Chico. He was looking at more a back of a lane delivery. The one half volley, he did bowl in the over. He was made to pay when didn't play the lofted drive. Yeah, so 9 from the first over. A decent start, one would say, by the Leatherbacks. One really short coming off the bat.
Second over about to commence. Looks like it's going to be lead John. So spin from over number 2. Can Elcock will be the man on strike. And it's going to be Lee John will move into the left-handed Elcock. He's going to bowl round the wicket to Elcock, who is looking to work it down the leg side. And wide call. So Elcock 188 runs. The competition so far. Bowls into the pad, looking to work it away. And there's no run, so Elcock striking at just under 160. So it has been a decent return for him so far. It's bouncing across him. Good delivery from John, going past the bat of the left-hander.
Yes, certainly. A good start by Lee John.
John round the wicket to Elcock. Elcock is beaten outside the off stump. This time on the front foot. And again, John beating the outside edge. Keeper not taking. Good stuff from Lee John.
Yeah, for the second time. Brings Elcock forward. Ball goes past the outside edge. So certainly Kimani Melius would be interested at the slip position.
He strengthens the offside with Fanis being pulled from backward square leg into the backward point. That stop edge, it could be, he's running back, will not get it. It bounces away from him and runs away into the boundary ahead of him. But could have been an interesting and inspired field change from Kimani Melius, but just a little too far away from Fanis, who had just been brought into that position. As we look at it again, Elcock looking to go for the big drive, getting off the mark. 14 without loss it is.
Yes, Elcock certainly was feeling the pressure. 3 dot balls, something had to give.
It was almost his wicket that gave. John moving again to Elcock. Elcock edge man put down by Melius. It looks like it was a sharp one. It was low to his left. Two-handed and not holding on. We'll look at it again. Yes. Oh, in fact, it hit him on the left hand. A sharp catch, low down. Would have been a brilliant one. Not holding on at life for Elcock. Good stuff from John. Creating problems from the word go to complete the second over. John moving in to Elcock. Elcock full toss, clips it away from mid-wicket. And one bounce into the boundary. Square leg, in fact. 4 runs. So 2 boundaries coming in the over for Can Elcock. But he can count his lucky stars as the total goes to 18 without loss after the second.
Yes, 9 runs came off the over, but really not a reflection of what was really a good over bowled by Lee John. Created perhaps 1.5 chance. And a very sharp chance there to the left of the captain. But all in all, I think the ploy to have started with Lee John almost paid off.
In fact, Lee John can argue that he beat the bat twice and then got the edge. So for half of the over, and he also induced a false stroke. So 4 deliveries, you can say that Elcock was in a lot of trouble. Start of over number 3. It's going to be Edward, who is going to take strike from Chico. His second over. Edge and taken. Oh, good catch, Kimani Melius. Oh, that came off the shoulder of the bat and flew to first slip, and there was Melius jumping and taking a 2-handed catch above his head and making amends to some extent for putting down Can Elcock in the previous over. First wicket down for the Leatherbacks. First wicket down with Dane Edward going. Caught Melius. A brilliant catch off the bowling of Chico.
Again, the back of a limb delivery, suspect may have surprised Dane Edward to an extent. I don't think he anticipated the ball would have bounced so much and off the shoulder of the bats. And it was a well-timed jump by Kimani Melius, as you did indicate, both hands above his head and pull out what was a brilliant catch. So the still Gros Islet Knights, they are drawing first blood.
First blood indeed. As Sachin Sipal comes in at 3. A little surprising at that, Greg Wilson.
Not exactly, because the last game in Swaziland, he came in at 3 as well. So this is the second game. I think they have used him at the top of the order.
So, Sipal, 66 runs at a strike rate of 150. So far, he'll face his first delivery from Chico. Looking to work it away. The return doesn't come from Lee John coming into the square leg position. Leg by, says umpire Augustine, as the total goes to 19 for 1.
Yes, the last game, yes, we did not see Eugene. And I'm just looking at Jonel Eugene again is not in the team, so I think hence the reason why Sipal has been promoted up the order.
Yes, Jonel Eugene normally comes in at 3. Don't think Jonel is here. We'll have to have that confirmed. I'm told that may have traveled. Beaten outside the off stump. Elcock playing and missing. Good delivery from Chico. Ball coming through nicely to the keeper. Angle across the left-hander. Into the gloves of Goodman. Good delivery again from Chico.
Yes, it's back of a length really. Can Elcock perhaps got into mind whether with that length he really can't play forward. And the ball seeming across him. So certainly good matchup there for Tyrell Chico.
Solitary slip in Melis. Tall figure of Chico. Coming into Elcock. Elcock swinging at it, driving at it. This time a little wider of off stump. Inviting the drive. Elcock throwing the bat at it, but missing. So 2 dot balls there in the middle of the over from Chico to Elcock.
Well, the last delivery there, he was given the whip, but just was unable to put back to ball. I think anything through the covers there, that certainly would have been a boundary.
Particularly given that the 2 men out on the leg side, they had long leg and backward square leg. Chico missing his run on this occasion. So Elcock will want to take advantage of those offerings like we had in the previous delivery, because there are no boundary riders on the offside. The fielders on the offside are in the ring. 4 of them plus the slip. Chico to Elcock. Elcock gets a straighter one and defends into extra cover. Lee John is there and there's no run.
Yes, it's a bit surprising that the boundary riders are on the onside, but the line of attack is more outside the off stump.
And it almost appears that the field is for the right-hander, where he has been operating on off stump, but they seem to have not made the change for the left-handed Elcock. So it looks a little off with the line and the angle, taking the ball away from the left-hander. So you'd have expected that at least maybe we might have had a deep backward point as one of them, or maybe even third man and deep backward point. Short and looking to work that away. It's come off the pad and will come below us for 4 leg buys. So a little errant there. Chico to complete the over. Overall it was a good one, particularly with the first ball being the wicket of Edward. End of the third, Babonneau Leatherbacks batting first. They're 23 for 1.
Yes, for the second time, Tyrell Chico unable to really close the over, considering a boundary of the last ball. But nevertheless, Claudius, having picked up the wicket of Dean Edward in the over, it still turned out to be a very good over for Tyrell Chico.
About to see the start of over number 4. Lee John will continue. And he will bowl to Sipal. Sipal has faced just the 1 delivery. He's yet to score. And it's going to be the right-hander to face. And he's gonna receive from John. Long on and deep mid-wicket. The two fielders out. This is the power play. Leading edge up, close thing there, and oh yes, that looks like, is it not? Oh, it's not. Oh, that was a close thing there, a bit of a tight one as Fanis, I think, came in from backward point as Sipal was looking to turn that leading edge. The throw came in, and it was a close thing. So we look at that on the monitor. Fanis picking up, and Jad
I think it
Goodman.
was more the keeper wasn't sure where the stumps were.
So he missed it on the first
On-
attempt and
yeah.
had to be breaking it on the second attempt, or the return swing of the arms. One taken. John continuing. 24 for 1. He comes in this time to Elcock. Elcock is the bold, I think. Backing away, losing his off stump. End of Khan Elcock, who you'd have to think got a little frustrated here in this innings, and just looking to force the pace, backing away and losing his wicket, losing his off stump. Lee John picking up his first wicket and the second for the Leatherbacks as Elcock goes away.
Yeah, certainly. Elcock was a shot in past frustration, as you indicated, but it looked like he came off the pad and then onto the off stump. But certainly he was not getting the ball off the middle of the bat, and I think he may have been real frustrated on losing the second wicket, the Babonneau Leatherbacks. So they're really not off to the sort of start they would have wanted. Second wicket down in the fourth over.
Elcock's 8 coming from 11 balls, 2 fours, but losing his wicket as he's been replaced by Caleb Thomas. So Thomas coming in at number 4 and will face John. Crowd building up in the Alton Crofton stand. So he's had 6 matches, Thomas, just 34 runs at 125, a little above that, his strike rate. So he would have to put up a partnership here with Sachin Sipal. John has picked up his first. Will move in. More pressure being applied. Forward short leg posted. So Melius has gone under the helmet. Dylan Douglas in the solitary slip position. Over number 4 in progress. John will move into Thomas. It's taken a long time for Thomas to take his first delivery. A lot of chatter among the Knights. John operating from the southern end. Moves into Thomas. Thomas drives outer portion of the bat down to Jones at backward point. There's no run. So 4 in the ring, plus the solitary slip on the offside, 2 on the on, and 2 boundary riders. Lee John moves in to Thomas. Thomas is hoiking that away in the air. I think it's going to fall safely, yes. Fielder from the square leg boundary electing to take it on the bounce. Tariq Edward. So a single to Thomas. Got off the mark there, but I think for a while his heart would have been in his mouth. 25 for 2 it is as Sipal comes into strike.
Yeah, that shot from Thomas didn't look convincing at all.
Slip on the gully now for John. Comes into Sipal. Sipal gets a 1 that is fired down the leg side and will go all the way for 5 wides. Oh, little surprising, that delivery from John. The captain had just posted slip on a gully, and he fired it down the leg side.
Yes, certainly. Kimani Melius would be very disappointed with that last delivery from Legion, giving him all the support required.
John moves in as the total goes to 30 for 2. Sipal drives nicely. Oh, good work. Equally good work on the edge of the circle by Davin Ford. Tumbling away. It was a shot that had 4 written over it, but denied by good fielding from Ford. 1 to Sipal. He gets to 2, doubles his score, 31 for 2. 1 delivery left in the 4th. Thomas will be in strike. Melius pushing Gerson towards the edge of the circle at extra cover. So Thomas on 1 will face the off spin of John. Straightish approach. Thomas edge and taken. Is that? Oh, they're celebrating. That's a good catch from Melius. That came almost off a leading edge as he pushed forward, and it was a low catch traveling quickly to the left of Kimani Melius, and he was able to get down two-handed, I think, and a brilliant catch. Oh, brilliant. Oh, sharp reflexes there. You, Kimani Melius, you are catching very well tonight. The end of Caleb Thomas caught Melius, bowled John for 1, and the Knights, they have reduced the Leatherbacks to 31 for 3.
Yes, certainly. Good catch, as you did indicate, because you would have been outsighted by the keeper, and the ball, as soon as it got past the pad, you saw him moving towards his left. So really, really sharp chance indeed there, taken by Kimani Melius and the Leatherbacks, Claudius. They're really not going anywhere this evening.
Well, that is so. 31 for 3. And the new batter coming in at number 5. So this is a position of strife now for the Leatherbacks. They have struggled against the spin of John. Over number 4 completed. As Sipa will be in strike. Chico to start the 5th over. Bowls, that's whipped away over the head of mid-wicket, out towards the boundary, and I think it will get there. Yes, ahead of the fielder from long on. So boundary to Sipa, taking him to 6, and the total 35 for 3. Quinn Henry, the man joining him at the fall of the wicket.
Good shot there by Sachin Sipal. This one really angling into the pad. And once they got on it past the inner ring, there was always going to be 4 written all over it.
Chico in his 3rd over, 1 for 9. See, comes into Sipal. Sipal is struck on the pad, playing across the line. Not out, says the umpire. Close thing there. And what did you make of that one, Greg Wilson?
I think it was angling down the leg side. Perhaps another missed opportunity there by Sipal.
Yes, just closing the face of the bat there. Maybe better advised to hit down the ground. Stays on 6. The total 35 for 3. Chico with a slip on a gully. To Sipal. Sipal off the back foot, hits it down to the backward point on the head of the fielder. Jadel Cyril can't come across to his right, much to the disappointment of Melius, but it's a boundary to Sipal. He goes to double figures as the total goes to 39 for 3.
Yeah, good shot there by Sipal. Good execution. This one was shot on outside the awesome. Really looking to play the uppercut. And goes to the right of Jadel Cyril on the Goodman boundary for 4. So Sipal really taking the attack, taking a liking to the bowling of Tyrell Chico.
Yeah, it was sort of a fielding effort that needed a dive, but Big Cyril didn't put in the dive. Chico to Sipal. Sipal inside edge will get a single. Has to. Oh, there's a misfield by Fanis because Henry had sent Sipal back, but Fanis didn't pick up at backward square leg, so it stays as a dot ball. 39 for 3 it is. 2 deliveries left in the 5th over. So Sipal continuing to do battle. Melius makes a change, pushes Gerson to the edge of the circle at backward point. Deep wide third and deep backward point. The 2 out. Melius himself goes a little wider at slip. Chico to Sipal. Sipal drives, will get a single to mid-off. It'll be tight, but Douglas doesn't pick up cleanly, allowing the single in the end as Sipal gets his 11th run and takes the total to 40 for 3.
Yeah, good communication between these two. As soon as the ball came off the bat, Sipal called for the single, and he was going through the danger end, but in the end completed a relatively easy single.
Quinn Henry, aggregate of 104 in the 6 matches so far, scoring at 135. As he's gonna face Chico. Who's about to complete the 5th over. Plays down to backward point. Gerson is there, completing the fielding. Good end to the over from Chico. His 3rd, the 5th of the innings. Babonneau Leatherbacks batting first. They are 40 for 3.
Yeah, good end to the over as it indicate. Did not consider boundary on this occasion, was able to close the over. But looking at the chart there, the Leatherbacks, they are going at 8 and over, which is not bad, but I think what's crucial is that the number of wickets they have lost, 3 inside the power play.
And I don't think they would have bargained for that when they won the toss in Siobhan Joseph and decided to bat. So they have some reconstruction to do, so to speak. The building for the Leatherbacks looking a little shaky. Needs to be solidified. John to start his 3rd, the final one of the power play. Off the back foot is Sipal looking to flash that away. Goodman taking. John again to Sipal. Sipal is back. This time he finds the ball but will not find a run as Gerson is picking up. So Lee John has been very tight. 3rd over, 2 for 17. So keeping the pressure on and doing well with the new ball. Always a challenge when the spinner has to bowl the new ball. Turned away nicely for 4. Oh, good dexterity there from Sachin Sipal. Going down on the knee and just helping that over the man at 45. And quite an attractive stroke. Bringing him a boundary. And taking him to 15, 44 for 3, and showing Greg Wilson it's not always about power.
Yes, certainly. This time it was more dexterity, as you said, and most importantly, he watched the ball onto the bat and just lapped it over the backward square fielder and down to the boundary for 4. So good, sensible batting there by Sachin Sipal.
Very much clearing the inner ring because there's no fielder behind square on the boundary on the onside. So good work there from Sipal. Actually brings about a discussion between the bowler and his captain. 44 for 3 midway in the 6th over. John, the off spinner, will continue. Moves into Sipal. Sipal is getting a flatter, faster delivery and doesn't have the room to pierce that offside field. Finds Gerson at extra cover and Dot ball to respond after the boundary. John again to Sipal. Sipal back. And maybe too mobile in terms of the shot execution on this occasion. Couldn't find the gap. Again, it was straight to Gerson, who's happy to keep that to a dot ball. 2 in succession from Lee John. Is looking to complete the power play. Comes into Sipal. Sipal is getting a good one. Can't score. John does the fielding. Happy to complete the over. Second half of it producing nothing for the Leatherbacks. 6 completed. End of the power play. 44 for 3, the Leatherbacks, after they won the toss and batted.
Yes, certainly the still Gros Islet Knights would have the better of the exchange in the power play. As we see Sipal 15 from 14. Canal Cork just 8 from 11, and Dean Edward. So both of them are back in the hut already. And good work there by Lee John. Picking up 2 wickets. He's going at 7 and over. Tyrell Chico as well. He has bowled 3 overs for 14. So both of them, Claudius, I think they have given the captain a good enough start.
Excellent work by the 2 bowlers. I think Kimani Melius will be happy with what has transpired. And of course, he has been in the thick of it, taking 2 of the 3 in terms of catching. And they were both quality catches. One high above his head to dismiss Edward, and a very sharp one low to his left to dismiss Caleb Thomas. Bowling change. Beyond Fannis. Start of over number 7. Off the back foot, edge maybe going through past the keeper as it bounced in front of him. And by signal by umpire Augustine. So a play and a miss there from Henry. 45 for 3 it is, as Sipal will be in strike. Sipal is 15 from 14. So beyond Fannis, representing the Senusha under-19 team a few weeks ago in Dominica. I think also making reserves for the Windwards under-19. Delivery that is up in the block hole. Maybe a low full toss even. And hit down to mid-on for a single. 46 for 3 as Sipal goes to 16. So we saw Fannis being the only Knights seam bowler used against Swazel for Friday evening in that game that they won by 77 runs. Of course, a lot more seam expected here at the Francis Baba Lastic ground. It's a different surface. He'll now bowl to Henry Fannis. Bowls wide of off stump. 2 wide, says umpire Ali. 47 for 3.
Yes, the Leatherbacks will need a bit of consolidation, Claudius, but at the same time, the scoring rate is less than 8 and over. 7.42. Certainly, considering here is a very high scoring ground, they need to up the ante, but at the same time, they need to be cautious of not losing wickets.
Fannis to Henry. Henry back of a length, plays it away down to backward point. Edward with a low return to Goodman. 1 more to the total. 48 for 3. But of course, Greg Wilson, I think what has hurt the Babonneau Leatherbacks is the loss of the free wickets.
Yes, and certainly Canal Cork and Dean Edward usually give them a good start at the top. And this evening, that was not the case.
And of course, with the absence of John L. Eugene, makes it even more difficult for them. Fannis comes into Sipal. Sipal off the back foot, plays a nice stroke, finds the gap, but good work by Douglas on the edge of the circle. keeping it down. So good cricket there, all told. Nice back foot push by Sipal, getting himself a single. Really resulting from good work by the overseas player. 49 for 3 with the single. Henry coming in to strike. Drives into the offside. That could be a boundary. Yes, it is. A pleasant stroke. A very juicy, friendly delivery from Beyond Fanis, serving up a half volley outside the off stump. And Quinn Henry saying, "Thank you very much, young man." Driving it all along the ground to the left of the sweeper, to the right of the sweeper, correction, and away to the boundary for 4 to bring up the 50 for the Leatherbacks.
Yes, certainly, Claudius, from what we have seen so far, I think this is the shot of the inning so far. Exquisitely driven, but as you indicate, a nice juicy half volley.
Fanis continues. Off the back foot, a bit of room, a back of a length delivery. It was maybe appreciably quicker as well. And it went past the flash-hit bat of Henry at the end of the over. The 7th of the innings, 53 for 3, the Leatherbacks.
Yes, decent over, again completed by Fanis, just conceding 8. So the Leatherbacks really have not gotten the sort of explosive start they would have wanted. They have kept in check. With the 7 overs completed so far, Claudius, not one they have gotten into double figures.
Indeed, an indication of the good work from the bowlers. So Lee John not being allowed to bowl all 4, so he has been kept with 1 in reserve by his skipper. In fact, Davin Ford will continue for his 2nd over. So, or is that his first? His first. His first, yes. So Lee John having 3 in the power play, and so over number 8 to be bowled by Ford. Bowls back of a length to Sipal, and there's no run, so Davin Ford, 2 wickets so far, an economy of 11.29. This is match number 5 for him. Comes in to Sipal, drives in the air, but safely down to long off. Easy single to Gerson, as the total goes to 54 for 3. The Leatherbacks going at just under 7.5. Field change as offside is being strengthened. Douglas being brought on the edge of the square at a short extra cover. With a bit of a limp as well. Ford will move into Henry. Henry punches it straight to Melius. And of course he can't score. Stays at 54 for 3 midway in the 8th over.
Basically, Claudius, all the bowlers who have bowled this evening have been able to keep the batsman in check.
Ford to Henry. Henry gets a wide one, slaps it back to Ford, tumbling away in his own bowling. So decent start from him, just a single of the 4 balls.
Yes, certainly he would be very pleased with the start. We saw his economy rate of more than 11 in the tournament, so There was one game in particular he went for plenty. I think he considered some 60 runs, 60 odd runs.
Indeed. Crowd building up in Alton Crofton stand. Ford off the back foot, hit away. Could be a catch to the sweeper. Low down, yes. Oh, a short delivery, looking to smack that away. But I think who's that? Lee John that has taken that low down. So success for the Gros Islet Knights. Davin Ford, the man picking up the wicket. Short and hitting it away, but straight to the fielder. And the departure of Queen Henry, who would be angry with himself, Greg Wilson, that he didn't clear the fielder there.
Perhaps Claudius, he should have gone towards more Foodman or the point region, but looking to access the cover region right into the hands of Legion. So the shot certainly was on, but I think the direction in which he struck the ball was not the best area he should have chosen.
Yes, in fact, immediately after he executed it, I thought, wow, that's a boundary. And then only to find that he had found the fielder. So disappointment, frustration there for Queen Henry and the Leatherbacks, who have lost their 4th wicket. This is just the 8th over, and it's not going well for them at all. As Joshua Mann comes in, and he will face up to Davin Ford, who has picked up his 1st wicket.
Well, Joshua Mann in the last game in Swaziland, Claudius, he registered a half century. So the Leatherbacks would have hoped that he perhaps can replicate that sort of the innings he had in Swaziland.
Yes, overall 79 runs, strike rate of over 200, but he had that important half century on Sunday in the first game. And of course, right here he picked up a 6-for against Swaziland, I think it was, as Swaziland Craftmasters were bowled out for 112 in response to a big 200 plus total from the Leatherbacks. First delivery, man gets a bouncer and goes under it, left-hander. End of the 8th over, 54 for 4, the Leatherbacks, after they decided to bat. This is game 22 in SPL 6.
Yeah, an excellent first over there by Davin Ford, conceding just 1 run, Claudius, but most importantly, picking up the wicket of Queen Henry, who really was at the crease and he was really struggling to really get the ball away, and got a nice short ball outside the off stump and really picked Legion on the cover boundary. So he would have been disappointed with his effort, but the Leatherbacks, they perhaps would need to get to the 10th over with no further loss and then reassess how they're going to approach the final 10.
So Fanis will continue, and he'll move in for over number 9. He will bowl to Sipa. Who bowled them? Oh, inside edge. And Sipal has missed a low full toss, it looks like. And more problems for the Leatherbacks. They lose their 5th as Sipal goes ball beyond Fanis. And wicket number 1 for Fanis. Sipal going for 18. Seem to have missed a low full toss, Greg Wilson.
Yes, what appeared to be a low full toss. Perhaps not presenting the full face of the bat, looking to go towards mid-off thereabout, but was looking to go access the cover region, and the ball came off the inside edge, and they heard that rattling sound, which is not pleasant for any batsman.
Not at all, as we look at it again. And good delivery from Fanis, actually. It was a bit of a yorker and got the bottom, the toe end of the bat on it, and it crashed into the leg stump. So Siobhan Joseph, the Babonneau Leather captain, comes in to bat, and he's got a lot to do there, Greg Wilson, for the Leatherbacks.
Yes, certainly, but in the past, Siobhan Joseph used to bat much higher up the order, but in this edition of the SPL, for some strange reason, he is coming at number 6 and number 7 at times.
So today is at 7, aggregate of 112, strike rate of just under 158. Fannis with his tail up comes into Joseph. Joseph is forward, wants a single, could be tight, but Ford not picking up. So the single taken in the end. Joseph getting off the mark. 55 for 5.
Certainly was a tight single there. I think had Ford collect cleanly, Claudius, there could have been a possibility of a run out. But at the end, good communication. They went immediately after the ball was struck. So the captain, Joseph, would be happy to get off the mark.
Joshua Mann is going to take strike. Fannis will move into the left-hander. Bouncer. And just going on there is Mann. And Goodman taking.
But Claudius Mann is up against a medium fast bowler and he's out there without a helmet. So I think perhaps ill-advised.
Yes, it's a little strange. We normally see the modern day batter with the helmet, especially for the fast bowlers, and then they would opt to take it off, some of them for the spinners, but Mann has come out without it against Fannis. That's looking to work that away. That's a very woody sound, and so umpire Gustin will not take that appeal seriously. Melius picking up in the slip position, and it stays 55 for 5 in the 9th over.
Certainly Fannis is one of the few fast bowlers who really runs in hard.
Fannis running in hard, but doesn't deliver on this occasion. And we'll have to go back. So Joshua Mann in that game we were telling you on Sunday versus City Blasters, 72 from 37 balls, 5 fours and 6 sixes. So he really enjoyed himself, and well, he took them out of a position of strife to a total of respectability. He's gotten very far into that. A big, long, unnecessary appeal from the fielders as Goodman took that. Goodman himself didn't really go up.
The bat was nowhere close to the ball. He basically looked to shoulder arm, played inside the line of the delivery.
I think the Knights there guilty of just over appealing there because they believe that they are in a good position.
I think it was more
on reflection. Goodman did go up. He actually went up with both arms, so they all went up for it. Fannis, 2-man, man gets a full toss, plays it down the ground. That can go pretty close. Will go in fact all the way into the straight boundary for 4. So juicy full toss accepted by Mann to get off the mark. End of the 9th, 59 for 5.
Yeah, Fannis would be disappointed having picked up a wicket of the first delivery, Claudius, and he had only considered 1 run in the 5 deliveries, and the last ball really served up a nice juicy half volley which Mann just caressed back past the bowler and got himself 4 delightful runs. But still the struggle continues for the Babonneau Leatherbacks.
Indeed, in the 9 overs we have had, not one of them has gone for 10. So it shows you how difficult it has been for them. The Gros Islet Knights have kept them on a tight rein. Overall scoring rate 6.56. Ford to start the 10th. His third. Correction, his second. Ball to Joseph, who is defending away, almost test match fashion. Away into the onside, and there's no run.
I think this inning would perhaps be one of the lowest total you would have at the halfway mark of any of the games we've had previously.
Yeah, in fact, 59 is normally a power play score, and have it in the 10th over is reflective of that. Off the back foot, doesn't get hold of it. Is Joseph will get a single to long off. 60th run for the Leatherbacks, as Joshua Mann will come into strike. So in that game on Sunday, in fact, the Babonneau Leatherbacks were 34 for 5 and then 55 for 6. And then there was a big partnership of 111 between Joseph and Mann. So they recovered things for the Leatherbacks on Sunday. Can they do it today, Tuesday, off the back foot, hit away? But not getting hold of it. And they take one. So these two did the repair job on Sunday. So Mann got 72. Siobhan Joseph, who batted a lot earlier, he got 35. Joseph coming in at number 5 on Sunday. He has come at number 7 today. It's away out into the offside. Sweeper to his left, Gerson. They take one more. And the total 62 for 5. So these two, Greg Wilson, we saw them do it on Sunday. They are setting about to repair things for the Leatherbacks.
Yes, Claudius, but on Sunday they were a bit more aggressive. Although they had lost wicket, but they were more. There was more positive in the short play.
Ford to Mann. Mann hits that into the mid wicket. Good stop, and he has to go back quickly. Oh, and that has gone through the fielder. Jadel Cyril, I think, that has not been able to cut that off. So good fielding by Jones at mid-wicket, firing at the stumps. And they're backing up. Well, it wasn't effective at all. As Jadel Cyril seeing the ball go through him for 4 to Mann. Not a bad way to get a boundary. Greg Wilson, well, 66 for 5.
At this stage, I think the Leatherbacks, they would welcome them however they come. But the bowler, Davenport, certainly would be disappointed.
Mann benefiting from the gifted boundary goes to 9. One delivery left in the 10th. Ford to Mann. Mann gets a good delivery, plays it away to the sweeper, Tariq Edward. A deep extra cover to complete the 10th and bring us to the halfway mark of the innings. 67 for 5 as the players will take a drinks break. So an opportunity for us to just recap for you what has happened with the summary. As Babonneau Leatherbacks, they won the toss and batted.
Yes, it has been a real struggle for the Leatherbacks. The highest score so far, Sachin Sibal, 18 of 19, and Mann, who has just gotten into double figures on 10. But the still Gros Islet Knight, Claudius, the bowlers, they have done a remarkable job. In fact, all 4 bowlers so far have picked up wickets. Lee John, they pick up the bowlers 2 for 21 of 3. Ford has picked up his 1 for 9 of 2, and we saw Fannis picking up 1 for 13 of his 2. So all in all, the still Gros Islet Knights, they would be very happy with their position at the halfway mark.
Indeed, as the players take a drink, we also take a drink. break. So we are back after the break. 67 for 5 it is, as we're going to have a bowling change. Dylan Douglas will come in to Joshua Mann, who pushes it up to Ford at extra cover. No run. Discussion between Mann and Joseph. So Dylan Douglas, the overseas player, move into the left-handed man. Man goes big. We get an inside edge to backward square leg. They say 2. They'll get it as it's Cyril that has to come from mid-wicket on the boundary to pick it up. So 2 man goes to 12, 69 for 5.
I think that last shot there, Man certainly wanted to go big on this occasion, but losing his ship in the process.
Douglas to Man. Man gets a good delivery. Blocks it to the onside. So Douglas being introduced there. He's picked up 4 wickets. Economy 6.5. Switch hit. Oh, well played. Couple of bounces into the boundary. Oh, that was well executed by Joshua Mann, switching the grip on the bat and playing that down to, well, what started as deep backward point. Yes, and good execution, getting a boundary and showing that he is quite capable, Greg Wilson, of inventive play.
Actually, on Sunday, we saw him executed one of those shots as well.
Douglas moving into Man. Man is orthodox, lofting that down to, well, attempting to maybe go bigger, but it ended along the ground, long on. In Edward picking up a single to Man, his 17th, 74 for 5.
Well, yes, have we had any maximum for this evening?
I don't think we have had. No maximums.
And we're in the 11th over.
And the 11th over. Good observation, Greg Wilson. And I think it shows how much of a struggle it has been for the Leatherbacks. Joseph looking to go big, but that has gone along the ground to Chico at long on. And one more to the total. End of the 11th, 75 for 5.
Yeah, Dylan Douglas first over, considering 8 runs to against Claudius. Every bowler that has been introduced into the attack has been able to keep the scoring rate at a minimum. As I did indicate to you, we yet to have 6 scored, and we have completed 11 overs. So certainly it has been a struggle for the Leatherbacks, and the still Gros Islet Knights would certainly are enjoying their exchange out there. And if they do continue in that vein, Claudius, it looks like it's going to be an early evening for the spectators.
Well, the Leatherbacks might suggest that it's a little early to say that, Greg Wilson. Still 9 overs left. They can potentially get an additional 100 to make it interesting, 170, 180. But it will take a lot of batting from here as we see a bowling change, leg spin from Jones. Off the back foot goes Joseph to get his 5th run, 76 for 5. So be good if our scorers can just give us the boundary count. We suspect there have not been any maximums yet, so just confirmation of that. So it has been 4s can you tell us how many fours? So no sixes, confirmation, Greg Wilson. So you're spot on. 10 fours. Thank you to our female scorers assisting us in the commentary area and adding to the production. So 10 fours, no sixes, Greg Wilson. You're bang on target. You're a darts man, and you are on target. Off the back foot, that's it in there. It will fall safely out towards Douglas, who will come across to his right. And they take one. So Greg Wilson had a darts event tonight. He missed it, but he's darting some good observations. 77 for 5.
Yes, the struggle still continues for the Leatherback.
Jones to it's gonna be the first maximum. Lofted over long off. Long on, correction. It was in the slot. Jones presenting a juicy one to Joseph, who said, "Thank you very much, young man." Hoiking it away over long on for the first 6 of the innings and taking the total to 83 for 5.
Yes, as you did indicate, this one was right in the slot. And the captain, Joseph, really did not need the second invitation. And perhaps players, one would think that is the sign of things to come.
And of course, they need to do that because the Leatherbacks have been going at a snail's pace of 7.22.
Well, you say a snail's pace. They are going at the rate of a Leatherback.
Indeed, they have been crawling along. And some urgency needed by the Leatherbacks. A bit of an acceleration from Joseph. Exactly what's needed. Jones continuing to Joseph. It's going to go big. It's going high in there. Could be a catch. Tariq Edward under it and takes it. Oh, Joseph, you fell. You got yourself, tempted by the honey. 6 and then out. SSJ departs. Caught Tariq Edward. Bowl a cooker hope. Jones, the 6th wicket going down for the Leatherbacks in the 12th over. 83 for 6.
But credit must be given to young Isaiah Jones. After being struck for 6 Claudius, he was brave enough to flight the next delivery. And we had a serious power failure on that occasion. It went up high, had the height but not the distance. And a good comfortable catch taken by Tariq Edward, and you could see he really enjoyed this one.
Yes, very much so. And the Leatherbacks losing their 6th wicket. And the girls supporting the Knights, dancing away. Well, the Knights were also dancing in that huddle because they have had it all their way so far. 83 for 6. Tariq Edward contributing there with a catch. Edward, who has been fairly quiet in the innings so far, we haven't seen him bowl, has fielded a few deliveries. New batter, Alex Joseph. So one Joseph replacing another. Jones to Joseph. Joseph slaps it away. Outer portion of the bat. We'll get a boundary to the right of Cyril in the circle at short third. So Alex Joseph gets off the mark. 87 for 6 it is.
Well, he was given the whip on this occasion. Wide outside the awesome and really threw the bat at it. Peel off the outer edge. Fortuitous boundary, but he will take it nevertheless.
Jones moving in to Joseph. Joseph is forward. Jones picking up the ball on the bounce. End of the 12th, a successful one for Jones and the
Well, at the 12th over mark, Claudius, for the first time, the Babonneau Leatherbacks crossed the double digits and they got exactly 12 off the 12th over.
Yeah, it has not been a rapid rate of scoring by the Leatherbacks. And they need a lot of work to do if they are going to present a challenge to the Knights. Douglas to continue. Over number 13. He will bowl to Man, who's forward and plays it down to the slip. And Melius, who must be a happy man. The Knights know the importance of continuing to win as they push themselves towards the top of the table. Man is pushing himself to the far end to get a single, and will take a second as very lackadaisical Chico fumbles. 2 to Man, taking him to 20. 89 it is for 6. Douglas round the wicket to Man, switch hit, missing this time. Outside the off stump. Goodman taking it. So Man continuing to battle away for his team. Douglas to him. Man is bowled! A big drive, and that sends Douglas somersaulting away in celebration. And it was a good delivery from Douglas, yorking Man, who was sort of backing away to leg to access the offside, and missing that and having his leg stump disturbed. More success for the Knights as a disconsolate Man goes away. Bowled by Douglas for 20. In the 13th over, the Leatherbacks are 89 for 7.
Give a bit of air, and Man really moving his legs out of the way, Claudius, whilst he was looking to play the shot. So kind of a very strange shot indeed, but it was well bowled by Douglas. Dylan Douglas continuing to have more success out there, and it's a clear indication that the Knights are not under pressure so much that the captain basically is at the slip position, and you don't find it happening for too long in T20 cricket. So the mere fact they get positioned for so long with a slip is an indication that he's under no pressure.
You are right, Greg Wilson. In fact, I noted it earlier, and I actually wanted to point it out, but you are right on the ball again. In the 10th over, in fact, beyond the 10th over, and Melius has remained at slip. In fact, at one point, he had a slip and a gully. And
short leg at some point.
Indeed. So really enjoying this innings there, Melius, as Douglas bowls to the new batter. That's Tyler Sukwa, correction, who's getting off the mark with one that was into the block hole. 94-7 it is. One delivery left in the 13th over as Alex Joseph comes in to strike. Is 4. Douglas round the wicket to Joseph. Joseph is swinging that and will get a boundary to the backward square leg region that is vacant, and easy pickings there for Joseph, who gets his second boundary and taking the total to 94 for 7 at the end of 13.
Yeah, last delivery, a really loose delivery there by Douglas. Perhaps was looking to buy a wicket, just tossed this one up, but on the wrong line, and Alex Joseph certainly would have welcomed that opportunity, scoring opportunity, and he executed successfully. But after 14, Claudius, still they are unable to get to free figures.
Over number 14 about to commence. Action in the Alton Crafton stand. Support for both teams. Nice to see that. Both teams from the north. Of course, the Gros Islet Knights are based here on this ground. Jones starting his second over. Moves into Sukwa. Sukwa goes big out towards the offside. Fielder coming along nicely. That's Gerson keeping it away from the boundary. It's a poor throw, will allow the second, as there was no backing up in the circle on the onside, allowing Sukwa to come back. So 2 to him is 3. It's 96 for 7.
Yes, on this occasion, Cyril really caught up in there, was not backing up. But the few shots that we have seen from Tyler Sukwa, Claudius, it looks like he really wants to put back the ball.
As Jones to Sukwa. Sukwa he smashes that down the ground. Oh, good work from Douglas. Doesn't know where it is, but getting assistance in completing it from the man Gerson at long off. But from Douglas, put the body on the line from long on to straight behind the stumps, cutting off the boundary. They took 298 for 7. Sukwa has gone big. That's enough on it to clear the boundary over long off. A bit of a helicopter smash from Sukwa in the slot and smashed over the head of Jones, going all the way over long off for 6, the second maximum of the innings. It brings up the 100 for the Leatherbacks. 104 for 7. It is midway in the 14th over.
Yeah, Tyler Sukwa, as I did indicate, Claudius, from the time he has entered the crease, he looks like a man who means business. And I think all the shots we have seen so far from him have been shots in anger. And the last one clearly still way over where we are housed into the pack for 6. So it's just 2 maximums we have had so far, but this one was certainly much bigger than the first one.
Indeed. Well, we know Tyler Sukwa, there are no half measures in anything he does. With the ball, full 100. Also with the bat, strikes it in the series at 156 and would back himself to push things along. Jones, midway in the 14th over, will continue to Sukwa. Sukwa is looking to cut that away. Missing into the gloves of Goodman. 104 for 7. Rate of scoring just under 8. Jones to Sukwa. Sukwa has gone big over mid-wicket. That could be 6. Yes, it is. Way over the boundary. Cow corner being peppered there by Sukwa. A poor delivery from Jones. Smashed over the head of Tariq Edward at the mid-wicket boundary. Second 6 of the over from Sukwa, from the bat of Sukwa, taking the total to 110. 110 for 7. As Jones again to Sukwa. Sukwa is outside the off stump. A slash at it. Not making contact. End of the over. And at the end of it, 110 for 7.
Yes, the most productive over we've had in the inning so far, Claudius. I think some 16 runs came off the over. We had 2 twos and 2 maximums. So Tyler Sukwa, as we could see, 17 of 7. And the biggest we've had so far, as I did indicate, some 16 runs coming off the Isaiah Thomas. Actually, all 3 maximums that have been struck have been off the bowling of Isaiah Jones.
so tall building for the Leatherbacks. Be backing themselves as Fanis comes back. He will bowl to Joseph, who is looking to swing that on the bounce to the keeper, who takes it on the body by signal by the umpire. So Fanis comes back for his third, 1 for 13.
I think the keeper, Goodman, this evening, he has struggled a bit, Claudius.
Yes. Was not as athletic as they come as keepers. But he continues to battle away for his team. Fanis bowls, nicely driven by Sukwa. Not a big, expansive drive, just a push for single to the sweeper. So Sukwa showing some intelligence in his play. Brings Joseph back into strike as the total goes to 112 for 7. So these two pushing things along. And probably here the best partnership of the innings. Just throwing that out as Joseph down the leg side, and Jad Goodman doesn't take cleanly, but this time the bye not considered. They didn't run, but yeah, not as neat as Goodman would expect.
Yes, Goodman, as I indicates, struggling a bit behind the stump. But Alex Joseph, Claudius, for me, he is more productive when he's at the top of the order for the Babonneau Leatherbacks. I had a discussion with him at the Minnow Park some time ago, and he told me he would have preferred being at the top.
Fanis to him, struck on the pad, down the leg side. They take one. Select by 113 for 7. So the partnership 24 between these two, and looking to repair things. Of course, opens the batting sometimes, but it is for the most part been used lower down the order.
Back last year in the PM Cup, he got a half century against the Central Cashers team in the finals.
Sukwa faces Fanis, and there's a big swing and a miss outside the off stump. Stroke of violence from Sukwa, not making contact.
As you did indicate, no half measures with him. It's all or nothing.
Yes. Throwing the kitchen sink at that. He means 18, 113 for 7. The run rate that has not gone beyond 8 per over throughout the innings stays below that figure. Fanis with that strong run in to Sukwa. Sukwa is looking to hoik that. It's struck on the body, and that is gone for 4 leg byes. Big appeal from Fanis, but the umpire is saying that came off of the body. And end of the over with the boundary. 117 for 7. 15 overs completed.
Yes, Fan is continuing to keep things tight for the still Gros Islet Knights. Completing his third over, Correas, and only 14 runs that has really come off the bat. So clearly we could see on the replay that ball struck the bat, Tyler Sukwa outside the off stump. So good call there by the umpire.
Lee John being called back. It's interesting when we look at the Knights setup and the use of their bowlers. We have Jodel Cyril was not being used.
Tariq Edward.
Neither has Tariq Edward. Lee John continues to Joseph, who's defending away into the onside, no run.
And still a possibility of Simeon Gerson as well.
Indeed, in one of the previous games, they used 7 bowlers. Joseph has gone big and gone long. 6 over the head of the long on fielder. Gerson watching that fly over his head. So a maximum for Siobhan Alex Joseph. Lofting that away for 6. Taking the total to 123 for 7 as he goes into double figures.
Well, another player that will not die wondering. He's another one. He's not going to utilize too many dot balls. He's going to put bat to ball.
So John continuing again round the wicket to Joseph. Joseph is going big, but along the ground. Too long off. Douglas is there. Single to Joseph. He's 8 in front. 124 for 7. So, discussion about the field among the Knights as the right-handed Sukwa comes into bat. Long off, long on, deep mid-wicket, deep square leg, deep extra cover. Sukwa not quite ready. John to Sukwa. Sukwa is looking to go big, missing. Quick single. The throw comes in. Oh, direct hit. But I think at the point of impact, umpire McVeigh would not have been in a position to see that, to be fair to him.
Yeah, you were just on the move at the time.
Yes, it was a good attempt. In fact, Melius breaking the stumps as we see it again. Big shot struck on the pad, late single called, the ball taken, the throw from Melius, breaking the stumps.
He was in.
It was a close thing. Wilson says he was in. Umpire McVeigh not in a position to say conclusively.
Signal by.
Signal by. 1 to the total. 125, 124. 125. 125 for 7. So John continuing after the bye. John to Joseph. Joseph, a big swing at that. Wide call. The tall figure of McVeigh spreading their arms. 126 for 7 with the wide. Lots of chatter among the crowd. Gripped with the action. We're at the Francis Babalastic ground in Gros Islet. Game match number 22. Joseph punching that, but straight to Chico at short extra cover. No run. One delivery left in the 16th. John around the wicket to Joseph. Joseph is gone big along the ground though. Gerson is there. 1 to the long on fielder. End of the over. End of Lee John as well. 127 for 7.
Yeah, Lee John 2 for 30 of his 4. I think he would be pleased with the return, Claudius. I think in general, all the bowlers, they have bowled fairly well, with the exception of 1 over from Isaiah Jones that went for 16. The Leatherbacks, they have been kept in check for the best part of the inning.
Just under 8, the overall run rate. 4 overs left in the innings. 127 for 7. What total you think the Leatherbacks will be happy with, Greg Wilson?
At this stage, if they could get to 165, I think that's a fighting total for them.
Douglas to Joseph. Joseph eventually getting the single. Although Sukwa was sensing some danger with Melius looking to field inside the circle. But as it went past him, the single became a lot easier. In the end, Sukwa obliging. 8 for 7. Sukwa himself comes in to strike. We are in the 18th over. Sukwa and Joseph need some boundaries. As Douglas comes into Sukwa. Sukwa is smashing that along the ground. Long off. Fielder, Edward, Tarek. in the way, and it's just a single. 129 for 7. Joseph, 17 from 12. Sukwa, 19 from 12. Douglas to Joseph. Joseph wants a quick single, but realizing that it is back to Joseph. Can't score. Douglas again to Joseph. Joseph smashes that on the bounce to the sweeper. Ford is there. And one taken. 134-7. These two, they have done well. Good partnership. The best of the innings. 41 from 24. Oh, they have certainly repaired things for the Leatherbacks. It was struggling when that 7th wicket fell. Oh, an attempt to slash that away by Sukwa. Didn't get to that at all. Gets the wide because it was very wide. So one more to the total. 131 for 7. Douglas over the wicket to Sukwa. Sukwa hits that. That's gone high. Going back is Chico. Takes it just inside the boundary. Good judgment. Tariq Edward, correction. And a well-judged catch from Edward because that went very, very high indeed. Edward had to compose himself inside the rope, making sure that he didn't step onto the rope. And as that came down, Tariq Edward composed himself and took it nicely. High catch in front of the chest with a smile. Another catch for Tariq Edward. The end of Sukwa, the 8th wicket for the Leatherbacks, as he goes, ending the partnership of 41 and bringing in young Gustav.
Yes, certainly on this occasion there was the height, but there was no distance. And a well-judged catch there by Tariq. You could see Claudius Tariq is really enjoying his fielding out there this evening.
So Sukwa being dismissed, and Unieski Gustav coming in. A success. Number 2 for Douglas. 8th wicket going down. Douglas will bowl to the new batter, who drives but finds Melius at backward point. End of the over. A successful one from Douglas, the 17th of the innings. 131 for 8. 3 overs left.
Yeah, they let the backs continuing to struggle there. The still Gros Islet night bowlers are continuing to make life difficult for them. Unable to get a rate of over 8 for the entire duration of the inning. So it has really been tough going for the Babonneau Leatherbacks, and with 3 overs remaining, 18 deliveries, Claudius, I think they would want to get at least 45 to 40 runs of the last 3.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how many they can muster in the remaining 18 balls. Tariq Edward now being brought in for his first ball in the 18th over. Balls to Joseph. Joseph backs away and hits to the extra cover fielder, Chico. And there's no run. Edward again to Joseph. Joseph backs away and smashes it down the ground. Gerson is there, keeps it down to the 1-1-1, being urged by the captain. 132 for 8 as Gustav comes into strike. So Gustav will want to extend it all the way to the end of the innings. Edward to Gustav. Gustav slash and a miss. Outside off. Edward again. To Gustav. Gustav squeezed it, but finds point fielder in Melius. And there's no run. So it stays 132 for 8. Edward again. Gustav a play and a miss. Outside the off stump. Into the gloves of the keeper. So Gustav finding difficulty in laying bat on ball. Turns it away this time to the mid-wicket fielder, who's almost taunting them to maybe look for the second. Joseph looks like he wants to fall for the bait. But they stay at 1 as the over is completed. 133 for 8 after 18, the Babonneau Leatherbacks.
Yes, the struggle continues there for the Leatherback, but good first over completed by Tariq Edward, only conceding 2 runs. But Claudius, I think Alex Joseph should see himself as the senior batter there and try to take as much strike as possible, because if they are going to get anywhere close, perhaps even to 150 runs, I think he has to be the one to take them to that total.
Indeed. As Douglas starts the 19th, Gustav is squeezing that into the offside. Can't get that single that will bring Joseph into strike. So it stays 133 for 8. So they have only 11 balls left in the innings. Douglas to Gustav. Gustav is again finding Melius. And there's no run. That prompts a discussion with Alex Joseph, perhaps saying, you need to get me on strike, young man.
Well, I think he's trying, but Douglas is really pushing the ball and he's looking to access the offside where you have most of the cover.
That's played airborne. They'll get the single on this occasion. As this time it goes to the right of Melius. In fact, over his head. Cyril from outside of the circle coming in to do the fielding. So 1 to Gustav. He goes to 2. Alex Joseph, 19 from 16, comes in to strike. 9 deliveries left in the innings. Douglas to him, slower delivery. And the direct hit missing the non-striker stumps. But it goes all the way to long off, but it just didn't have the chance to come back for the second. 1 taken, 135 for 8.
Again, Claudius, as I did indicate, Alex should be the one to really look to take most of the strike. And I think that last single there was perhaps a suicidal run. He could have easily gotten run out at the non-strikers end.
2 deliveries left in the over. Juicy served, hit out towards the offside. It will fall safely. And they will take 1. Jones, the man picking it up on the bounce. End of the over, in fact. Is it? No, 1 delivery left. There's some sort of reaction in the crowd. They're thinking that it was a catch. Of course, it's easier said than done. Jones electing to do the fielding. 1 taken, 136 for 8. Final delivery of the 19th. Joseph in strike. And inside edge past the keeper and will go to fine leg for 4 runs. An educated inside edge from the swinging bat of Joseph brings him a boundary and takes him to 24. And the total 140 for 8 at the end of the 19th.
Yeah, well, good fortuitous boundary towards the end of Douglas' spell. 2 for 26 off his 4. But the Babonneau Leatherbacks, Claudius, certainly would need a last big over. And one would want to think that Alex Joseph would need to get back on strike as quickly as possible if they are to get anywhere close to perhaps 150, 160 runs.
On the evidence of the replay, it looked like it came off the pad.
It all actually off the inner portion of the bat.
In a portion of the bat. Start of the final over. Tariq Edward to Gustav. Gustav hits that. Could be a catch to Gerson. Yes! So Gerson holding on to it and tumbling over backwards as Gustav looking to smash that away. Just didn't have the power, so that Gerson had to come from the long off position and take it maybe 35 yards from the bat. End of Unieski Gustav. Caught Gerson off the bowling of Tariq Edward. 140 now for 9.
Yes, certainly the Leatherbacks losing their 9th wicket, and they perhaps in danger of being bowled out. Looks like Naeem Roseman, the final batter, coming in, but it certainly would be very disappointing for the Leatherbacks, having won the toss and elected to bat, and to have had that sort of batting display. I think I'm of the opinion, Claudius, that the absence of Jonal Eugene, Babonneau looks a different team.
Yes, it's been a bit of a struggle for them, and maybe just not having the sort of quality in the top order with the absence of Eugene, a real solid, capable batter to have the others bat around him. We saw Sipal, who's really an all-rounder, coming in at 3, just to give you an indication. As Edward bows to Roseman, who drives and beating 2 fielders and requiring a slide from Jones, who's cutting off the boundary in the end. Melius and Cyril not cutting it off. So Roseman getting a single. 141 for 9. Edward to Joseph. Joseph almost yoked. Digging that out in the end to preserve his stumps. Fortunate for him, it was not on the stumps, a little wide of the leg stump. So dot ball. Edward again to Joseph. Full toss, smashed away. Could be a boundary. No, on the bounce to Gerson. And they take 142 for 9. I think Joseph crossed with himself there. Would have loved to still be on strike.
But it is better use of that full toss.
It's Roseman on strike. Edward to Roseman. Roseman down the leg side. Missing. Wide call. 143 for 9. Still 2 deliveries remaining. Edward round the wicket to Roseman. Roseman hits it hard into the ground. So much so the keeper takes it on the bounce. And a dot ball. Joseph resigned to the fact that he will not get another opportunity to swing his hands. It's Roseman for the final one. A ball them, it looks like. End of the innings on exactly 19.6. So with the final ball of the innings, Edward finding some way through the defense of Naeem Roseman and hitting the stumps. End of the over. End of the innings. 20 overs gone. 143 all out. The Leatherbacks, with Alex Joseph remaining not out on 25. So after winning the toss and batting, 143 is the final score by the Leatherbacks. Greg Wilson, your assessment on the effort by the Leatherbacks after they won the toss and batted?
Well, certainly they would be very much disappointed, Claudius, with that final total. With the exception of, well, we had 3 batters with some decent stats, but nothing really to shout of. Been bowled out for 144 after winning the toss certainly would be very much disappointing for the Babonneau Leatherbacks, and knowing that their situation in the points table is a game that they really need to win to perhaps solidify their place in the last four and to have put up that sort of performance. So it really is a dismal performance. I'm very disappointed, but credit has to be given to the SPL Gros Islet Knights. Every bowler who came in pretty much kept things tight, with the exception of Isaiah Jones, who went for a few, at least 3 maximum. But the rest, they certainly did a very good job with the ball.
Indeed, and that is reflected by the overall rate of 7.2 that they scored at. So 144 the target by the SPL Gros Islet Knights, as that would get them an additional win and additional 3 points. The question is, can they get there? They need to go at just about 7.3, 7.2 in fact. So that is the situation here. We have reached the midway point and we are at the innings break. So we take a break ourselves and we'll come back with the chase. 144 the target by the SPL Gros Islet Knights. Join us for the chase in about 10 minutes time. Welcome back. We're getting ready for the chase. So the Gros Islet Knights, they are in search of 144. Kimani Melius and Jad Goodman, they are the ones entrusted with laying a foundation for that chase. It's not a big one, and they would want to start off well. And it's going to be Naeem Roseman who will be entrusted with the new ball. He normally starts for the Leatherbacks, but the Leatherbacks, they've got their work cut out for them, because 143 all out is not a big total, and they would need to strike early as well as regularly. So that's the challenge before the Leatherbacks. Let's see how they go. First delivery, Roseman to Goodman. That's turned away. They'll get off the mark, as Quinn Henry can't stop that. Played away to the short mid-wicket region. So Goodman gets off the mark, and the Sale Gros Islet Knights are off the mark. Melius comes in to strike, the right-hander. So the Gros Islet Knights using left-hand, right-hand combination. Melius so far from his 4 matches before this, 125 his aggregate. Strike rate of just under 187. Of course, Melius, the highest scorer in SPL 5, over 500 runs last year. He will want to get himself up the run chart in terms of aggregate. Solitary slip in place for him. He has to contend with a deep backward point and a long on. Roseman to Melius. Melius with a big drive to one that is outside the off stump. And have a loose looking stroke from Melius. Left foot not really coming towards that, but I guess he's looking for boundaries with only one fielder on the boundary on the offside. That's Joshua Mann at deep backward point. Roseman from the northern end to Melius. Melius is getting one that is back of a length. Goodman wants a non-existent single, almost a third way down the track, having to go back because there's no run there. Good back of a length stuff from Naeem Roseman, who's going back to his mark. Roseman has been good with the new ball. 5 wickets, economy just under 9. Comes into Melius. Melius with a big attempt at one outside of off stump again. Not making contact. Melius going down to Goodman. A little conversation, the two. A jam of the gloves. Goodman saying, keep going, Skip. And maybe Skip just needing to get that left foot more towards the offside if you want to be a stickler for the technical aspect of the execution. Roseman to Melius. Melius again for the 3rd time in the over. A play and a miss. Well, he's been fed those deliveries by Roseman. Full, looking to bring the slip in place, but you have to say, if that comes anywhere off the bat, I don't think Dean Edward will be in action. That is gonna fly towards deep third, maybe reaching us here, because Melius is full throttle at it outside the off stump. Just maybe the swing of the bat, the positioning of the body in the execution. Needs to come across more. Rosemond to Melius, advancing and whipping that high over square leg 6. Got the length on this occasion. It was back of a length, and Melius that had advanced got it in his arc in the end and got the opportunity to swing away. And swing away he did to telling effect. 6 to him, first maximum of the innings. The total 7 without loss after the first over. So good one for Melius in the manner in which it ended. So using his feet, and in fact it was a lot fuller than I actually thought, but having used his feet, got it in the arc to swing it away and going all the way over square leg for 6. It wasn't back of a length. Good innovation by Melius. So he's off the mark with the maximum, 7 without loss. Sipal is coming in for the second over. He's going to bowl to Goodman. Sipal has picked up just the 1 wicket. In the 5 matches before this, economy of over 12. Well, bowl to Goodman. Off the back foot, hit away out towards the sweeper on the bounce. And Henry picking that up. Goodman going to 2. 8 without loss. Reminding you that this is match number 22 in SPL 6. Gros Islet Knights, they are currently on 5th position. Babonneau Leatherbacks are number 3. This is Babonneau Leatherbacks' final game. They are on 7 points. 2 victories and a no decision. They need early wickets. Sipal will bowl to Melius. Short and looking to hook that away, but it was a quick delivery. And I think you'd find that beat Melius for pace. So Sipal can be quite slippery. We saw that in the final of the Prime Minister's Cup, where he came in and produced 3 wickets in his first over after the Swazel team had gotten off to a flyer in the power play. Can he set the cat among the pigeons of the Gros Islet Knights? Short hooked away. That will go all the way over mid-wicket. Short, and this time Melius got onto it, hoiking it away. And for his second maximum, taking him to 12. 14 without loss it is. Melius dealing in maximums. And will not be mucking around this smallish target. 7.2 it was at the start. The Knights are off to a flyer. They're going at just under 10. Melius to 12. Sipal quickly in to Melius. Melius hooks that. Miscue, could be a catch. No, that's going to fall safely. Man from mid-on not able to get there. Neither could Sipal in the follow through. It landed in the mid-wicket area. A miscue from Melius. He gets a single. 15 without loss. And Sipal running in quickly, trying to hustle Melius. Did hustle him high on the bat. But man running hard from mid-on. Not able to pick it up. Goodman in strike. Sipal to him, that's short and looking to pull away. And well, at the delivery, pull stroke being attempted by Goodman. Doesn't make contact into the gloves of Alex Joseph. For Jad Goodman, it has been a struggle in the competition so far. Goodman, an aggregate of 35 runs. This is match number 5. The strike rate has been low as well. Less than 72. The big left-hander needing to do better. He knows that. Outside the off stump, looking to hoik that across the line. And not making contact. End of the over, the second of the innings. 15 without loss it is. The Sail Gros Islet Knights looking to sail their way to this target of 144. As we look at the Worms, in fact, the Leatherbacks, well, they were in a better position than the Gros Islet Knights. That sounds a little strange because we were talking how much of a struggle it was for the Leatherbacks at the start. 15 without loss. Roseman with the third over. Melius down the track gets a slower delivery. Yorker. And in the end has to dig it out. Good thinking from Roseman. He saw Melius advancing and then changed the length, changed the pace. Maybe he had already premeditated that's what he was going to bowl. Roseman to Melius. Melius looks to work it away. Struck on the pad. They go through for the single. Umpire Augustine says leg by. 16 without loss. It is with the leg by. Goodman, 2 from 4, comes into strike. Melius is 13 from 10. Over number 3 this is. So in the power play, square leg and deep backward point. Roseman to Goodman. Goodman gets one that is struck on the pad. Big bellowing appeal from Roseman, but that was way down the leg side. So umpire Ali Augustine not too interested in that. 16 without loss. So we look at it. Or maybe if anything pitching outside of leg stump as well. And umpire Augustine is saying, but that's not out. Roseman to Goodman. Goodman drives. The sweeper is going to come into play. And one to him as Elcock fires the return in from deep point. 1 to Goodman. He's 17 without loss. Rate of scoring reduced since the second of the 2 maximums from Melius. It's now less than 7. Roseman to Melius. Melius hits that down the ground. That's gone long and over the boundary. Straight over Roseman. And all the way for 6. Nice juicy delivery in the slot. And Melius with a nice straight bat and holding the pose with the check drive and hitting that straight as a gun barrel, going all the way for 6. His third maximum, taking him to 19 and 23 without loss. Reason for the young girls to go dancing, because it's going nicely for the Sail Gros Islet Knights. And 23 without loss. Ball change with that one disappearing at the far end. So Melius swinging the bat and clearing the boundary, causing Roseman to continue. That's caught. Yes. Oh, delivery that Melius was inside of his stumps and looking to hoik that away, but has found Tyler Sukwa on the edge of the circle at backward square leg. So success for the Babonneau Leatherbacks with the Knights captain going. Melius caught Sukwa ball Roseman after smashing the bowler for 6. Melius departs with a very breezy knock of 19. They came off just 12 deliveries, 3 maximums, and success for the Babonneau Knights. Correction, the Babonneau Leatherbacks with Roseman a short delivery and Melius finding Sukwa on the edge of the circle at backward square leg. So success for the Leatherbacks as they see the back of the Knights captain. I think this is important from their point of view because Melius was threatening to run away with things. End of the third over, 23 for 1 as Tariq Edward comes in. A man that has scored 200s already, and so good man to come to the crease from the Knights' point of view. Goodman will be in strike at the start of over number 4. Sipa continuing, one for 14 from his first. Short and looking to play at it there is Goodman. And looking towards the square leg umpire for the call of something. But it's umpire McVeigh at the presiding end who's saying one above the shoulder. So Goodman will make a mental note of that as he would think that for the rest of the over there shouldn't be anything that high, and so he can almost anticipate it would be of a fuller length. Delivery that's chopped away down to the left of Roseman. Can he come across? He does so. To loud applause from his supporters. 1 to Goodman. He goes to 4, or is he 5? 4 to Goodman. 24 for 1. The right-handed Tariq Edward comes in to strike. Edward, 276 runs in aggregate from 4 matches, 200s. Strike rate of almost 188. A man in form. Sipa moves into Edward. Edward hits it off the back foot. Out towards the sweeper. He'll get off the mark. And they stay at 1. Good communication between the two. Edward off the mark. 25 for 1. So Edward with scores of 111 not out. Right here against Swazel. From 53 balls, smashed some 12 sixes. And then 118. Also here. Sipal to Goodman. Goodman driving at it outside the off stump. Missing. It's angle across him. And Joseph taking that. Knights going at just under 7. 119 more required. At just about 7.3. So the Gros Islet Knights, as we told you, looking to push themselves up the table. They're currently at number 5. SPL to Goodman. Goodman drives down the ground. Could be a catch. Yes! Tumbling, going back is Joshua Mann. A poor stroke from the big left-hander, looking to clear the inner ring, but miscuing, really lacking in power. And good judgment by Joshua Mann, going back and tumbling to the ground, but holding on. The loss of Jad Goodman. Cotman, Bull SPL, and in the 4th over, the Gros Islet Knights 25 for 2, and well, creating and opening for the Leatherbacks as the wicket going down. So Goodman goes away in disappointment. Lee John coming in at number 4. So Goodman 4 from 10 being dismissed. So the noise level up in the Alton Crafton stand. There's a lot of support there for the Leatherbacks at what you think is the home ground for the Gros Islet Knights. And well, the Leatherbacks are going to fight on this 144. The Knights are not going to have it all their way. Lee John in strike. SPL quickly in to John. John is getting a Yorker, digs it out. Well bowled SPL, who is always full of life, always running in hard and bowling well. Good over from him. Oh, the wicket and only 2 being considered. So good over for the Leatherbacks. The 4th of the innings, 25 for 2 it is. And we got a game on our hands because the Knights have not gotten off to a flyer. And well, the Worms are locked with each other. They were level pegging after 3 overs. And although the Leatherbacks lost 2 wickets in the 4th over, they remain above the Knights as we look at the 2 Worms at a similar stage after 4 overs. Edward in strike is 1. Roseman being given a 3rd successive over. 1 for 10 from his 2. He will move into Tariq Edward. Roseman to Edward. Edward runs it down to short 3rd. Gustav is there. Doesn't pick up cleanly, but intercepts it. Keeps it down to a single. Goodman goes to correction. Edward goes to 2. Lee John coming in to strike. Solitary slip in Dane Edward. John 106 runs in aggregate in the 4 games before this. Strike rate of 152. Just under 153. He'll face up to Roseman. Comes in from the northern end to John. John drives out a portion of the bat. Gustav is nicely across to his right on the edge of the circle at backward point. Keeps it down to the single. 27 for 2 it is. 117 required. 7.5, just under that. Roseman, better known as Nairos, comes into Edward. Edward drives down to long off. SPL is there. One more to the total. 3 singles from as many balls in the over. 28 for 2. The Babonneau Leatherbacks making a fight of this. Knights scoring at 6.22. Lee John waits for Nairos. A swing at it outside off stump. Wide call despite the elongated appeal from Nairos. Really wasn't a convincing appeal. It was wide of off stump. Lee John slashed at it. No real support from behind the stumps for Roseman. And in answer to the appeal, Mr. Augustine said wide. 29 for 2 with the extra. Lots of chatter on the field. I think the cheerleader is Alex Joseph. Very vocal behind the stumps. As Roseman was coming, but seemed to have been some concerns about the field as to how many that were in the circle. Of course, all of them except 2 have to be in the circle. They had that deep backward point and deep mid wicket, or deep square leg, maybe just forward of square on the boundary. Roseman to John. John drives. That's gone through mid wicket for 4. It was in the slot. John tugging that and safely in the end, well away from the man at long on and into the boundary for 4. His first boundary as it takes the Knights into the 30s. 33 it is for 2. So Lee John showing nice swing of the bat, very wristy as well. That was on about leg stump and nicely played away. So much so that that gap is being plugged by Dane Edward, who has come from the slip position. In fact, he's going to go into the boundary, on the boundary, and Elcock will come in the circle at square leg. In fact, he's on the edge of the circle. What has happened? Full toss it into the offside, finds the gap, beats the both of them, and will go into the boundary for 4. Good stroke there from Lee John. It was full, it was wide, got it on the full toss, but more importantly, bisected the 2 at extra cover, or cover and extra cover, and away to the boundary for 4. Second boundary in the over for Lee John, taking him to, what's it, should be double figures. It's 9 is 37 for 2. This is the 4th over. 5th over, correction. 1 delivery left. Roseman to complete the 5th. Moves into John. John drives out a portion of the bat. Gustav is there at backward point. And along the ground, fielding completed. Single completed for John, taking him to double figures. 38 for 2 it is after 5. And 107 more required. 106 more required from the remaining 15 overs. And interesting start to the innings as we look at the over by over comparisons. So the red of the Knights with a tall building there in the 5th over, the one just completed. And the battle of the Manhattans very much on here as we start the 6th over. Greg Wilson.
Yes, Claudius. The Leatherbacks, they are seriously looking to make a fight out of this. Sachin Sipal to continue from the southern end. This one down the leg side. Wide signal by umpire. Magwin. So the score moves on to 39. Sipal has completed 2 overs so far. He has picked up 1 wicket for 11 runs. So the current rate 7.8. Required rate just 7. This one outside the off stump, plays it towards the point region. Scamper through for a quick single. So Lee John very busy at the wicket. He's move on to 11. If that single brings Tariq Edward on strike. 3 from 3. Good delivery outside the off stump. Edward looking to push this one through the cover region. A play and a miss. Ball perhaps kept just a trifle low. But good delivery nevertheless by Sipal outside the off stump. Edward had to play at this one. This one is firmly drive to the cover region where Gustav Fields can't prevent the run. So for the meantime, the still Gros Islet Knights, they are doing it in singles. Still within the required rate. Not a huge score to overall, 143. 144 the target. But the still Gros Islet Knights, they have lost their 2 openers. Captain Kimani Melius and Jad Goodman. Goodman certainly has been struggling this season. And this one is short and it is pulled towards the backward square region. It has gone all the way for 6. So certainly Sipal and Lee John seems to have a little confrontation out in the middle. And Sipal dug this one short. And Lee John was in position very quickly. Give it the treatment it deserved. So the score moves on to 47, sorry. Short delivery. And John just swats this one towards the backward square region. And as you could see, good work there by the cameraman. This one has gone all the way for 6. So what's the response of Sipal would be? No fast bowler love to be hit for a maximum. And this one just on about the line of the leg stump, and again the 2 of them have a meeting, the bowler and batter, in the middle of the wicket. So Lee John seems to be enjoying the exchange at this point. A maximum followed up by a boundary. With that, the score moves on to 51 for the loss of 2. 5.5 overs still in the power play. 1 delivery left to complete the power play. Thirteen runs have come off the over of Sachin Sipal. Can he end on a good note? Much better delivery, but this one is pushed towards the mid-on region where Joshua Mann comes in but cannot prevent the single. So a good productive over for the still Gros Islet Knights. 14 runs came off the last over of the power play. So So 62 for 2. Lee John, he has moved on to 22 of 9. So certainly good ball striking there by Lee John. So the Silk Gros Islet Knights, they need a further 92 of 14 overs at a required rate of 6.57. So looks like there's gonna be a bowling change from the northern end. Niski Gustav is gonna come into the attack. He'll be bowling to Lee John. This one shot outside the outside market is bang into the cover. Straight to the captain, Siobhan Joseph. Was in the way but cannot stop cleanly. They're able to scamper through for a single. John moves on to 23 of 10. This brings Tariq Edward on strike. This one is short and it's played towards the point boundary. Slow to react there as the fielder and they're able to come through for a second one very quickly. So good awareness there by these two, Lee John and Tariq Edward. Looks like Quinn Henry, the guilty party. So short delivery and play on a miss there by Tariq Edward. Short delivery there. Perhaps looking to overpower this one, losing his shape slightly. And this one is short, possibility of a catch, and it is dropped. So it went straight to the fielder at the long on boundary, in and out. And depending a modest score of 144, those opportunities need to be held on. So a chance gonna beg in there for the Leatherbacks. Perhaps guilty of looking to catch this one a bit too low. But Gustav continues. And this time, this one has gone all the way over the players' pavilion for 6. So certainly not a power failure on this occasion. Nice juicy half volley outside the Ostam. And Tariq Edward just plays through the line. Deposit this one over the players' pavilion for 6. So certainly the young man Gustav would be feeling that after providing an opportunity for a dismissal. It was dropped. And then to see the ball just sailing over his head for 6. So good shot nevertheless by Tariq Gabriel, given alive. But how much is that going to hurt the Babonneau Leatherbacks? Because we know Tariq Edward, he has registered some 2 centuries here already in the competition. As we look at the replay, the fielder perhaps came up the boundary rope a bit late, looking to catch this one a bit too low. And chance gonna beg in there for Edward. Again, so with the last, yes, definitely did not cover enough ground. Looking to catch this one very low. Ball in and out of his hand. So 11 runs so far of Gustav's over. Still 1 delivery left. But he did create an opportunity to see the back of Edward. This one is short. Missed opportunity again there by Tariq Edward. It's a good productive over for the Silk Gros Islet Knights, getting some 11 runs. But Edward providing an opportunity. And with 81 more runs needed of 13, the Silk Gros Islet Knights, they are going at 9 and over. And the required rate 6.23. So, man is coming to the attack. Man. And this one is short. And it is deposited into the mid-wicket region for 6. So, Joshua Man on this occasion guilty of pitching this one short, and Lee John taking full advantage of this loose delivery. So the score has moved on to 69. Some 75 more runs needed. So Joshua Man will need to create a bit of pressure. And this one is just tucked off the pads into the short backward square region. 1 run resulting. Lee John, he has moved to 40 of just 13 deliveries. And this one is short. Forces it off the back foot, but one bounce to the fielder at the long off boundary. Just 1 run resulting. So Joshua Man not bowling this sort of line and limb that would look to build some pressure. A bit too easy for the batters at this point. This one shot outside the off stump. A lit cut there by Lee John, but that one fell short of Uniski Gustav at the point region, just on the edge of the 40-yard circle. And this one angling down the leg side, just looking to lap this one. A bit of on the edge, no signal from the umpire. So with that, John, he moves on to 31. 72 for 2 after 8. So the Silk Gros Islet Knights, they are pretty much just coasting home. Some 9 runs came off the last over. So they are well above the required rate. They are going at 9 and over, and the required rate is 6. So it looks like Gustav to continue from the northern end. This one shot outside the off stump, plays into the extra cover region. Fielder comes around. Restrict them to just 1. So Lee John continuing to bat very sensibly out in the middle. And this one is short, and it's struck straight to the captain at the cover region, right at the edge of the 40-yard circle. No run resulting. And this one is struck over the long on fielder for 6. For a moment, I sort of lost the ball, but short on this occasion. And Tariq Edward taking full advantage of this one, deposited it over the boundary for 6. So Uniski Gustav certainly is coming for a bit of tap. 1.3 overs. He has considered 18 runs so far. Short, and this one deserved the treatment. Where has it gone? Oh, it's gone straight to the fielder on the long on boundary. So Edward 22 of 14. And this one displayed into the cover region. Joshua Man moving across to his right, but unable to prevent the single. Ball goes through to the cover region. 1 run resulting. And this one good full Yorker length. Edward could only squeeze this one out towards the point region, where Man does the fielding. No run resulting. So again, 9 runs coming off this over. 81 for the loss of 2. So the Silk Gros Islet Knight, they are continuing with their good run rate of 9 and over, and the required rate has dropped below 6. 5.73. 63 of 11. So the Leatherbacks, they need to continue to create opportunities to pick up a few wickets, because certainly they need to bowl the Silk Gros Islet out if they are going to pull off a victory this evening. And this one is short, and Lee John is into position quickly and deposits this one over the Alton Crafton stand for 6. So Joshua Man dropping this one short, and Lee John taking full advantage. And this has taken his personal tally to 39. And the Silk Gros Islet Knights, they have moved on to 87. So just a further 57 runs required. I did indicate to Claudius that we may very well have an early evening, and it is appearing to be that way. 57 more runs. So Man need to try to keep things tight or pick up a few wickets for his team. And this one just outside the off stump, just dabs it into the point region, and this camper through for a single. Much better delivery this time. Edward plays this one off the back foot, but straight to the captain, Siobhan Joseph. No run resulting. And this one a full toss, and this one is struck. It looks like it's going to go all the way for 6. So Man again just presenting another loose delivery outside the off stump. And Tariq Edward taking full advantage of it. So far, this two, they have put on a 69-run partnership of 45 deliveries. Tariq Edwards, 27 of 16 in his contribution, and Lee John, 40 of 19. So good partnership indeed by these two. And this one is short, up in the air, possibility of a catch, and it's not taken. And it looks like it is going to go into the boundary for 4. So a half chance created there. The fielder decided he's going to try to make the effort to take the catch rather than look to save the boundary. And in the end, he was not able to take the catch, and the ball went through for another boundary. So 98 for 2 in 9.5 overs. So certainly the bowlers for the Leatherbacks do not have any answer to this sort of onslaught by the batters. And this one full, and it looks like it's going to go all the way for 6. So certainly a loose ball again by Joshua Mann, resulting in the third 6 of the over. So some 23 runs coming off the 10th over, the most expensive so far. And with that 6, also the still Gros Islet Knights, they have brought up their 104 for the loss of 2. Tariq Edward, he has moved on to 48, and Lee John on 40. So just looking at the quick summaries in the halfway stage. Like I said, Lee John one as 40 from 19, Edwards 38 from 19, and Kim Melios 19 from 12. The main contributors so far for the still Gros Islet Knights. And with the ball, Sipali has picked up 1 for 24, Roseman 1 for 23, and Unisi Gustav 2 overs 20, has not picked up a wicket. So at this stage we are going to take a break as well, and we're going to resume in a short while.
And 4 for 2. So the halfway mark. And the sail Gros Islet Knights, they're sailing along. 40 required from all of 10 overs. That's just 4 per over. And well, it has really gone nicely for the Knights. Big over that, the 10th, 23 coming from it. And well, the Babonneau Leatherbacks needing to get some very quick wickets if they're going to prevent the advance of the Knights. And what we have, a bowling change. Sukwa being brought in, and needing a bit of a miracle as he will come into these two who have really pushed things along since the loss of Goodman. And we'll give it a partnership in a while. Edge and to the keeper it is. So Lee John and Tariq Edward, they have put on 79 from 38. Edward 38. In fact, Edward contributing 37. And John 40. It's interesting. In my own mind, I think this is turning out to be maybe a battle between the two for the man of the match. Assuming that, of course, the Knights go through. That's it out towards mid-wicket. The long on-fielder gets a good bounce, but will not prevent the two. That takes Lee John to 42. Edward has crept up on him. 38 Edward. John 42. 106 for 2. 38 required. So in the bowling, John 2 for 30 from his 4. Tariq Edward 2 for 5 from 2. And as it is now, you'd say maybe Edward has his nose in front in terms of the overall man of the match. Ball them! Lee John playing across the line and has lost his wicket and will have to go off. Top delivery from Tyler Sukwa hitting the top of middle as John playing across the line has lost his wicket and maybe the man of the match contention as well. 106 now for 3 with the partnership broken, and exactly what the doctor ordered Greg Wilson for the Leatherbacks after the break.
Yes, as you usually say, Claudia, something usually happens after the water break. And suddenly, Tyler Sukwa being introduced into the attack has picked up the key wicket of Lee John, who scored 42 with 3 4s and 3 6s. He was going at a nice healthy strike rate, 190. But one has to credit Sukwa for hitting the top of the middle stump. So usually that's an ideal length that you want to be bowling.
Absolutely. Top stuff from Tyler Sukwa. Dylan Douglas coming in. Pretty high strike rate, over 200. He's 82 runs in the 4 matches before this one. So a bit of a hiccup there for the Gros Islet Knights as Dylan Douglas, the overseas player, comes in. Surprising that Sukwa been only introduced in the 11th over. Well, he has made it count already. So he's gonna move into Douglas. Douglas drives to wide mid off. Joseph is there. Siobhan. And Douglas gets off the mark. 107 for 3. The situation well in favor of the Knights as we see the red worm well above the blue. Sukwa looking for more wickets. Comes into Edward. Edward gets a good delivery. Quick single. Underarm from Sukwa will not prevent it. Good communication. Strike being turned over. 108 for 3. Important the wicket taken of Lee John, but the requirement is not many, Greg. Just 36 more for victory.
Yeah, less than 4 runs and over required, so absolutely no pressure. They could do it in singles.
Indeed, less than 4. Douglas in strike. Sukwa. 1 delivery left in his first over, the 11th of the innings. Comes into Douglas. Douglas whips that away and caught. Yes, yes, finds the field that backward square leg. A soft dismissal. Douglas turning that and straight to the backward square leg fielder. Looks like Caleb Thomas. So another wicket going down. Sukwa picking up 2 in his first over as Dylan Douglas goes. Caught off the bowling of Sukwa for 1. And all of a sudden, double strike by the Leatherbacks. Dylan Douglas that is going for 1. Caught Thomas, bowls Sukwa. The Gros Islet Knights, they have lost their 4th wicket. 108 for 4.
Yes, certainly they need to pick up wickets in clusters, Claudius, if they are to pull off a victory. So, first over by Sukwa, as he did indicate, been introduced into the attack a bit late, but he has made it count by picking up 2 scalps in his very first over.
Indeed, 36 still required. Tyrell Chico comes in to join Tariq as Can Elcock been introduced. Babonneau still in with a chance to make it difficult for the Knights, but they need wickets because just 4 per over needed. Elcock to Edward, plays away. Oh, there's a misunderstanding. And, Tariq Edward finds his way back into his crease. He thought that was an easy single. Sent back by Chico. And had to scramble to make good his ground. The return maybe not on target. Had it been, it could have been a close call there for Tariq Edward.
Yes, certainly good bit of fielding there by the man coming across.
Elcock moving in to Edward. Edward drives, finds extra cover. And there's no run. So Elcock looking to keep things tight. The return coming in. So the run in between these two, not the best so far. Early days. Elcock to Edward. Slower delivery turned away. And they'll get the single on this occasion. Just tapping it into the short mid-wicket region. Single quickly taken on this occasion. Midway in the 12th over. 109 for 435 needed from 51 deliveries. Yes.
Yes, Colonel Cock, another revelation for this SPL, Claudius. He has done well with the ball in a few of the games he has played.
He'll bowl to Chico, who turns it away for his first run. Into the square leg region. And they take 1. So Elcock showing his all-round ability, opening the batting and coming for his useful medium seamers. He has already picked up 5 wickets, economy of just over 7. So not bad at all with the ball. He'll bowl to Edward, who smashes it, but straight to the extra cover fielder. Siobhan Joseph, they take the single. Run number 40 for Tariq Edward. 111 for 433 needed.
As you were discussing a little early on in terms of the man of the match, I think Tariq Edward definitely has put himself in serious contention now for the honours.
Indeed he has. And if he does get there, it will be his 3rd award. Chico is stuck on the crease and looking to push. Missing outside the off stump, as maybe just pace off by Elcock to end the over. His first, the 12th of the innings. 111 for 4. The Knights, they still need 33 in 48 balls.
Yeah, good first over completed there by Elcock, only conceding 3. But in the context of the game, I think they certainly need to pick up wickets and not so much being that economical, because 1 or 2 good overs certainly could change the complexion of the game.
Leatherbacks 143 all out in the 20 after they won the toss. And the Knights, they are 33 away as we start over number 13. Sukwa to Edward. Edward drives a full delivery, almost in the block hole to long off. And he goes to 42. 112 for 4. 32 needed from 47. Chico, we know he can hit a long ball. Will be in strike. You find he's got a high strike rate, 170. Full toss, slap down the ground. So 41 runs in the series so far for Chico. He goes to 2 in this innings, 113 for 4. Tariq Edward 42 from 25. Comes into strike. So Sukwa, 2 wickets in his first over. The previous one look to pick up more wickets. That's the Leatherbacks' only hope. 31 needed. Played away. No, not played away at all. Played back to Sukwa, was really kept things quiet in addition to those 2 wickets.
Yes, certainly he has not given away what we would call freebies as such, keeping things tight. If he's unable to pick up wickets, Claudius, he definitely need to try to build a bit of pressure.
Sukwa moving into Edward. Edward drives down to the boundary for 4, away from the man inside the circle and away from the one at deep third. So a big Gustav to his left and the man at third man to his right. Another good stroke from Edward. He goes deep into the 40s. 46 years. 117 for 4. And pushing along nicely. 2 delivers left in the 13th. Sukwa coming in. Ball to Edward. Was kept the innings together. Sukwa to Edward. Edward turns it. The appeal going up. But umpire Augustine not interested. Says leg by as they take 1. 118 for 4. Edward stays on 46 as Chico comes in to strike. 26 needed. 43 balls to go. Easy pickings, you would think, for the Gros Islet Knights. Chico waits for Sukwa and turns it away. Finds the backward square leg fielder, Thomas, shying at the non-striker stumps but can't hit them. Chico will keep strike for the start of the next over. End of the 13th, 119 for 4, 25 needed from 42.
Yes, just sensible batting there by Edward and Chico. I think they have realized Claudius just pushing the ball around, pick up the odd ones and twos, and if the odd boundary comes around, they pretty much prepared to have it. And one could say it's almost like they're just having a net session out there. No sense of urgency out in the middle. So because they know they have this one, well sewed up at this point in time.
Alcott to start his second over, the 14th of the innings. He will bowl to Chico, the red boots and the red helmet. Elcock to Chico. Chico turns it away. Pace off delivery. And Elcock quickly around. Can't stop it. One more to Chico. He's 4-120 for 4. .24 needed. As Elcock will bowl to Edward. Short, and Edward looking to paddle that around, not making contact. And it stays 120 for 4. Told you about the points table. So the Gros Islet Knights, before this game, they are 5th position. Babonneau 3rd with 7. Knights, they are on 6. Of course, that will change after this game. This is Leatherbacks' final game. Elcock to Edward. Edward swings it around. Backward square leg. The fielder will come around. Sepal can't stop the 2. Or is that Quayne Henry? Good running by the 2. Edward inching closer to his 50. He goes to within 2 of it. 122 for 4.
Yes, just 22 more runs needed in all of 6.3. So Edward at this point, Cloyes, I think he is the leading run scorer.
48 from 30, 4 sixes, 2 4s. Elcock to Edward. Edward turns it away. Through square leg, will think of the second. They'll go for it. The return will come in, and I don't think he's made it, has he? Let's look at umpire Augustine. No signal from him. So I think, what signal is that? From umpire Augustine, it's not clear.
So he was shaking his head, so not out, I think.
Well, I think that's Edward arriving safely, maybe with a bit of pain and some bruising on elbows. But that's 50 for him. Yes, just looking at the left elbow, it was a close thing. The return came in as they were desperate to take 2. They had said 2 from where would go. And he had to dive in. And dive in he did. The stumps were broken. And umpire Ali Augustine say no. As we see it again, turned away. Waited nicely. Ball being picked up by the man from the boundary, throw coming in and sliding in. Alex Joseph breaking the stumps. And Mr. Augustine saying not out. 50 for Tariq Edward. And they have come from 31, 32 balls, 31 balls. 2 4s, 4 6s. Strike rate of 162 almost. Greg Wilson.
Yes, good note by Tariq Edward, although he did provide them with an opportunity, Claudius, but one would say we saw some good clean ball striking by Tariq, and has pretty much continue in the sort of vein we have seen throughout the season. He has batted really well. He has played a lot of the balls on his merit. Not too many shots you see where he would premeditate. So far out of after 5 matches, 322 runs, strike rate of 184. Certainly the leading scorer in the tournament.
Well, yes, because he has had 200s and the 50. Junior Teapots Henry, I think, is up there as well.
Yeah, I think he would be second on the list.
As we're about to resume, so attention to Tariq Edward. In all of this action, the required runs down to 20. As Elcock will continue. Still 2 deliveries left in the over. The 14th of the innings. Elcock moves into Edward. Edward turns it away. We'll be looking for the second again. Yes, as the fielder comes from the boundary, the return fired in at the non-striker's stumps. Elcock had nothing to do with it. As Edward with the couple going to 52, 126 for 4, 18 required.
Yes, this is the third consecutive twos they have picked up in this over. So good aggressive running on the part of Tariq Edward and Tariq Chico.
Elcock moves into Edward. Edward hits that down towards square leg. Will beat the fielder. Will give it the chase very early indeed. It was to his right. And destined for the boundary all the time. Edward finishing the over with another boundary, taking him to 56. And the total 130 for 4. So 14 completed, 14 more required for victory.
Yes, good productive over there. Some 11 runs coming off the over, but the last delivery there from Canel Cock was really a hit me delivery. That one just sat up, and Tariq Edward took full advantage of that. So the still Gros Islet Knights, they are really sailing closer to victory. Some 14 runs required of 36 deliveries.
Indeed. So the Knights getting closer. 14 required. Sukwa will start the 15th over. He's gonna come into Chico. Chico hikes that away. Low down to the man coming from the boundary, not able to make a catch of it. Elcock.
But good save. Good.
Diving forward, saving the boundary. As Chico gets his 5th run. 131 now for 4. 13 needed. Tariq Edward coming in to strike. Edwards aggregate 322, so he has gone past Junior Teapots Henry, who has 302 from 4 games. Sukwa to Edward. Edward hits that high and long and big over the side screen at the far end. A mighty blow from Tariq Edward has sent the ball smashing away through the night sky for a full value strike. He pushes himself into the 60s, is 62, and has reduced the requirement now down to 7. What a clean hit from the all-rounder.
Well, yes, I dare say this is one of the biggest sixes I've seen struck in that end. This one almost behind the greenhouse.
Yes, I think we saw one land on the roof of the greenhouse, and that one has landed parallel with it. Sukwa continues to Edward. Edward inside edge. Will not beat man at backward square leg. So Edward stays on 62. 137 for 4. 7 needed. On the run aggregate, number 3, Andre Spiceman Fletcher, 229. And number 4, Kensley Paul, 198. Sukwa moving in to Edward. Edward gets a full one. Tempted Yorker, digging it out to Chauvin Joseph at extra cover. Dot ball. 137 for 4.
Yes, after the 6 that was struck off the bowling of Sukwa, he has come back with 2 dot deliveries, but it looks like Tariq Edward wants to finish the game in this over because he is really looking to play some attacking shots.
7 needed. He has 2 balls left. Sukwa to Edward. Edward plays that fine. Down to third man. Can the fielder come across? Nairos cannot. 4 to Edward. Opening the face up the bat to one that was full and wide. And beating Nairos to his left into the deep third boundary. Another boundary for Edward. He goes to 66. 141 for 4. The Gros Islet Knights are just 3 away. 1 scoring stroke away. And, well, that bat of Tariq Edward has produced quite prolifically. Sukwa moves into Edward. Edward hits that big. That's gone over long on that 6. That's the game. Tariq Edward finishing it with a maximum over long on. A nice juicy full toss that he said thank you very much. And smashing it over long on to remain not out on 72. 147 for 4. A comprehensive win by the Gros Islet Knights. They have gotten to their target in the end of 15 overs?
Exactly, yeah.
So 5 overs to spare. So victory by the Gros Islet Knights by 6 wickets with 5 overs to spare. A comprehensive victory indeed, Greg Wilson. 143 they got, the Leatherbacks, when they won the toss and decided to bat. And that, from the midway point of the innings, was not enough. And the Gros Islet Knights have demonstrated that, winning comfortably with 5 overs to spare.
Yes, that was a comprehensive victory there by the Silk Gros Islet Knights. And with that victory, Claudius, that certainly would help them in the point standing. Not only is going to push them up the order, but in terms of the net run rate, it will also going to boost it.
Yes, indeed. We'll look at the summary quickly. So that 143 with really 20s there from Joseph and Mann. Good from Edward, 2 for 5. Douglas, 2 for 26. And John, 2 for 30. And in the reply, well, it was that man, Edward, again. 72 not out from 33. Or is that 31? 42 from John. Quickfire 19 from Melius. 2 wickets for Sukwa, 1 for Sipal, 1 for Roseman. But it was too easy in the end for the Knights. They won by 6 wickets with some 5 overs to spare. Let's look at the points table quickly as we get ready for the presentation, with Gros Islet now pushing themselves into 2nd place, with them now going to 9 points. And of course, end of it for Babonneau. So Babonneau currently at 4th position. They will have to wait the balance of the preliminary rounds to see if they are going to go through. It seems unlikely with them only at 7 points, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's the situation for match number 22. Is success for the Sale Gros Islet Knights. As we wrap up here on commentary, on behalf of Greg Wilson and the entire production team, Jerry and company, Claudius Emmanuel, thanking you for staying tuned with us, but asking you to remain with us for the next few minutes until we get to the post-match presentation. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the post-match of this game, match number 22. It was success for the SPL Gros Islet Knights by 7 wickets with 5 overs to spare. Let's speak to the captains. First of all, we'll speak to Mr. Joseph, Siobhan Joseph. Hard luck, Siobhan, you didn't come out on top. 143, maybe not enough.
First off, I would like to say thank you to all the fans who came from far and wide to support us throughout this tournament. We heard your voices in every game and we appreciate your support. Of course, 140 runs in Gros Islet is never enough, and we knew it, but we wouldn't go down without a fight. As you can see, we played until the very last ball today. So kudos to the team for fighting through today.
Well, you have come to the end of your campaign. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out as you were expecting. But overall, what would you say is your impressions of how the Babonneau Leatherbacks went for SPL 6?
As a team without an actual sponsor or owner in this tournament, no overseas player, I believe we gave a good account of ourselves. I believe everyone can see it. We played very exciting games up until today. So we expect better of ourselves in the coming years and hopefully better to come from the Babonneau Leatherbacks next year.
Okay, thank you, Siobhan. You gave us good entertainment. All the best. Let's hope you come better in SPL 7. Kimani Melius, the winning captain. Good clinical performance by the Gros Islet Knights in a tough, tense encounter.
Well, I wouldn't say it's tense, but let me say commiserations to Babonneau. You know, they played very well. Our bowlers must be commended for the effort they gave. Fielders, we need to be clinical in that department, and just try to be clinical in the next 2 games.
Yes, and good fielding as well, some good catching. You contributing. Nice to see that the whole team is contributing.
Yeah, we Spartans, that's what we are. We are Spartans now, so we'll continue in that vein.
And rising up to the top of the table in 2nd place now, it feels good.
Yeah, definitely, it feels good. We have 2 more games, like I said. We play these 2 games with full intensity and give 100%, and let's hope we come out victorious.
Okay, thank you very much, Kimani. All the best. Okay, so that's Kimani Melius, the winning captain. Let's now address the man of the match, and the performance is clear. It's going to be Tariq Edward for his 2 for 5 from 2 overs and 72 not out from 38 balls, 4 fours and 6 sixes. Let's have Mr. Cyrus Sipal hand to him the award. And of course, Mr. Sipal is the District Education Officer for District 1, as well as the President of the Umpires Association. Tariq Edward, you're very familiar in front of the fans. The 3rd one for you in terms of man of the match. It feels good to play at the Francis Baba Lastic ground.
Well, to be honest, that's why I play a lot of my cricket. I back myself, my ability. I train hard, so I don't come out there and be surprised in my performances. And I'm just happy, for the team to even get a victory, to be honest, because, we've been struggling for form, and that has been the most important thing for us so far.
And what would you attribute to the success that you are getting from your batting? Clean hitting and some big maximums.
Well, to be honest, it's a lot of mix stuff going on. I have a lot of people talk to me that are close to me, tell me to bat slow, take my time. But, I'm a natural big hitter of the ball. But, it's just, to be honest, it's maturity out of everything that, driving me forward to score these runs.
And maybe the HPC assisting as well?
Of course, the HPC should be assisting, That has me training, every day, working on my craft. And, it's a good thing for me going forward as well. So I would say that assists me as well.
Okay, thank you very much. All the best. Congratulations. Great batting and bowling from our man of the match. So that's how we come to the end of the post-match for game number 22. Asking you to join us tomorrow right here for match number 23. The Miko Eagles versus the South Castries Lions. Good night.